Not too much at all, kids, man. What's up, Ray? What's up, Tata? Yo, I'm so sorry that I haven't been here for a whole lot of this stuff. But, man, I've been hearing what you guys have been saying. Yeah, man. I mean, I'm out here on the road trying to get this paper. You know what I'm saying? So it's rough. It's rough.
Facts, no. For real.
KC, we ain't seen you in a hot minute, KC. How you been doing, man?
Man, just like I said, man, out here on the road trying to get this paper, man, trying to get this black stuff first going, just for myself and my folks, man, trying to sit there and paper ourselves up. So, you know what I'm saying? Like TBA says all the time, folks fuck with you not just because you're black, but because you're poor. You got some paper behind you, you can start making calls.
Facts. Mm-hmm.
No doubt. Well, we ain't mad. I'm glad to have you back in the house. And tonight we're going to be talking about, in case y'all did not know, the U.S. and Joe Biden bipartisan agreement in Congress went ahead and gave Ukraine $1.7 billion in aid. That's when you think the U.S. is broken, behind, and don't have any money to give. They somehow find a way to scrape up a couple dimes and nickels and send it overseas. $1.7 billion. DJ, I know in your space earlier, y'all was kind of talking a little bit about that. I'm going to read a little bit of an article from USA Today, but I know you guys kind of was covering that a little bit. I want to say what's up to Aunt Lai as well. Aunt Lai, what's going on? But were you guys not also talking about Hunter Biden too? Did they catch something on his laptop as well?
Oh man, Hunter Biden, you know, he got to work on the scale, yo. They caught him with the video laying out the crack rock on the scale, weighing it up. He had about 4 grams of crack, bro.
They found 500 gigabytes worth of stuff, and the people in 4chan they're just going through it now. 500 gigabytes.
Yo, 4chan, wow, right now, yo, 4chan is fire. Even though they're racist, but they fire right now for this. No,
y'all notice now they ain't getting a lot of media attention on that. Now really pay attention to that, because did y'all notice? Did anyone else see how they had Biden? Well, not Biden, but Hunter. He had his dad's name allegedly saved in his phone as Pedo P.
Oh yeah, and because Irie Farmer's supposed to be coming in here. Irie, that was one.
All right.
That was some of the hashtags Irie had tonight. Irie gonna be a co-host in here, so I'm waiting on him to come in here in a minute too, man. But yeah, that was some of the hashtags that he was sending out, and I was like, what in the world? This boy is a pure crackhead.
Wait. Yo, Todd, I don't mean to interrupt you. You mean to tell me that Ukraine just got $1.7 billion? Did they have a commission?
No, sir.
They didn't have a subcommittee?
No, sir.
You tell me they didn't have
a subcommittee to a subcommittee with the lobbyists?
No, sir. And when I read this, because this is a very short, this may be a paragraph article, I'm going to just read it real quick. If you think the 1.7 billion bothers you, wait till you hear the entirety of this. You're going to be like, oh, Lord. And not only that, it's so strange that Republicans and Democrats are able to come together on a piece of bipartisan legislation. So this is something that we had never happens, never. It's such a struggle and this and that, yet they were able to get a bipartisan agreement done like that overnight. Like I say, this is like a really, really short article. I got it from USA Today. This was not curated on the Newstoter platform. I'm sure it'll be on there tomorrow or sometime tonight if I curate. I go ahead and update the content. But it says U.S. gives $1.7 billion fund to Ukraine government. Okay, the U.S. provided another $1.7 billion to ensure the Ukrainian government can continue to provide essential services such as healthcare. Also Tuesday, on top of this, check it out. Also Tuesday, the European Commission President, I ain't even gonna try to pronounce his name, gave $1 billion EU contribution, which should reach Ukraine this month. So they got 1.7 from the U.S. On top of it, Ukraine got $1 billion more from the EU. The U.S. contribution was made possible by generous bipartisan support from Congress. The U.S. Agency for International Development said, to date, U.S. aid has provided $4 billion. I will say that again. U.S. aid has provided $4 billion in direct budgetary support to Ukraine government for core functions such as keeping electricity on the hospitals and schools and other critical infrastructure, and paying for humanitarian supplies and salaries of healthcare workers, civil servants, and teachers. $1 1.7 is not just yet another financial support. It is an investment to make us a step closer to victory, said the Ukraine Minister of Health. So not only were they given 1.7 a day, not only were they given $1 billion by the European Commission, to date, the U.S. has given them $4 billion in direct budgetary support. So to date, the U.S. has given these people $4 billion. And how many months have they given them $4 billion?
Within
in a matter
the
of
past
months.
4 months, something like that, my brother.
No doubt.
4 months, yeah, because it started around my birthday back in April. So we might even say 3.5 months, my brother. But go ahead. I just want to say I like this type of knowledge because I was on your show last month. Remember when we had Judge Joe Brown and I got to ask him one of those questions and stuff like that?
Oh yeah, brother. We do so many shows, but yeah, I remember. I know you've been on there before, so
yeah.
Peace for you coming into the spot again tonight. I appreciate having you here. For those of you here, go ahead and tweet out the spot to everybody, man. And like I said, this is the kind of stuff that we be talking about in the black circles here, in the black news circles.
May I ask a question, my brother? Like, what is it so important that we give this money to to the Ukraine? I'm not saying that we need war in the world because we need more love in the world, period. Because we're all human beings. But I'm just saying, when it comes to situations like this, how come they can't just support themselves? Because when America gets in trouble, especially with African America, you don't see Ukraine giving us $1 billion to make sure we stay out of jail and quit selling crap to each other. So why should we have to give them the money?
Great question. I mean, that is a great question. I can say one thing is that
I believe I can speak on behalf of foundational Black Americans everywhere and say that they need to pull themselves up by their bootstraps. They need to get an education, and they need to find themselves another daddy somewhere because I want my money for my reparations. Thank you kindly. And seeing as how they're just throwing these billions of dollars out here, let's go ahead and add that on to the $20 billion tab that TVA and Professor Black Truth have gone ahead and thrown in there for foundational Black Americans in our reparations. How about that? Seeing as how this is our tax money.
Hey, that's an interesting perspective, my brother, because it's like when we get in trouble, us as Americans, other countries don't make sure we're taken care of like we take care of them. So I just wonder, what's the real game behind everything? Like, is it really going to be an investment and they really actually help us in the future if we get in trouble and things like that? I mean, we have so much stuff going on in America because if we still got ghettos and projects in America, then obviously we're not the greatest country in this world because we got to set the example. And if we still got the projects and the ghettos here in America, then that means there's a project in the ghetto in another country somewhere else around the world, my brothers and sisters.
No doubt, no doubt. And like I said, the only thing that you can say is that from a strategic point of view, and I don't know how many of my military people in here, I know Ray, you military person, but you can say strategically, okay, they want to have somebody over there on that side of the world who can keep an eye on Russia. That's one thing to see. But Ukraine, I know they say Ukraine provides a lot of wheat to North Africa, but in terms of resources and things of that nature, what does Ukraine really doesn't bring anything to the table for us as Americans. So I see Ms. Giselle got her hand up. Ms. Giselle, I'm going to go ahead and unmute my mic and let you speak.
Yeah, hey everybody. Just to give you a little bit of information about it, especially when it comes to countries like Ukraine. If you look at Europe, these white people do not have the money. The money was flipped to the Asians. The Asians used the white playbook and they robbed the world. That's just what happened. So what is happening right now, if you notice, start looking at your receipts. Everywhere you go, it's $1 to Ukraine. Round up your money to Ukraine. This is a way to fuel money into the machine, the white supremacist machine. This is a fight for the power, for the power. See, if we look at how the money is really moving, I know large corporations, both private and public companies, are pushing money out to Ukraine. They convinced us that they did this big show. They put on a show and said, "Oh, the United States is going to send money." Ukraine has a couple of billion from us, but this is how they get the money back to really fight on their end. They're broke and they can't beat the beast China. Nobody's gonna mess with Russia, because Russia, India, and China, I told you guys before in the other room, they already have a currency that is dominating right now. So, and the United States and other European nations can't keep up with it. This is how they flip the powers. So just pay attention to your receipts. Pay attention to the little commercials and these small restaurants and stores that you go into, even a gas station. Start noticing how many people are sending money to Ukraine, and you'll see what I mean. And I'll land.
Oh, that is so true. That is so true because they're trying to do this tax thing with the gas and all that type of stuff, and that is so true. Like I notice when I order my groceries, and they could be the same old thing, and now it's like $2 more because they putting on extra tax for Ukraine. Just like I said, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah.
Myself. And not only are they doing it that way, why is this important, right? The reason why, China owns so many parts of the land here. China owns most of Africa. America used to be the world power, right? These European nations don't have a muscle. They don't have a muscle anymore. So they're doing this fictional fight. It was a video, and I don't want to be all conspiratorial, but it was a video that came out with John McCain, and it was a couple of other people who went over to Ukraine back in 2016. And they said, "Look, we're going to put together this war. We're going to blame it on Russia. And y'all gonna fight back, and we're gonna make it seem like it's Russia." A lot of this stuff don't add up, and it don't add up for a reason. So the reason why this exchange of power with white supremacy, not to mention the loss of their numbers. So they're doing infights because everybody has their own way on how they believe they can take back the power, and they're scrambling. So that's what this is in real time.
Can I say something real quick? It's going to be kind of crass, but I mean, it's just a thought.
Go ahead, brother.
Okay. One other thing that I've been seeing a whole lot of, and if you tool around the internet a little bit, you usually see a lot of these little advertisements for get a girl from here, get a girl from there, get a girl from here. What if Ukraine have a whole lot of a bunch of blonde-haired, blue-eyed women? So if we can get them in their back pocket, they can start to perhaps pull up a little bit of their population numbers with some of those, blonde-haired, blue-eyed nymphets from over there in the Ukraine. Because isn't Trump's wife from there?
You said who?
Trump's wife.
Isn't Donald Trump's wife from the Ukraine?
I believe she is. I believe she is from overseas.
Yeah.
Trump always seems to get like. He seems to always get foreign women.
Yeah.
Supposedly, Dr. Joe Biden is from Ukraine, yo.
There you go.
But shoot, Trump didn't had a few of them from like the Eastern Bloc, white countries as well too. So he ain't above getting one.
All of his wives have been from Russia, if I'm not mistaken.
Then Ivanka Trump or whatever. Now the only one I see maybe Marla Maples wasn't. I think, yeah, them other ones, they pretty much were. I see my girl Demi got her hand up, so let her go ahead and unmute her mic.
Hey everybody, how everybody doing?
What's going on, sister?
I just wanted to remind everybody that y'all gotta look deeper. I hate to have to say this, but look deeper. Okay, it's not what your eyes see. Pay attention. You said it. Ukraine has a bunch of blue-eyed, blonde-haired people. Who in history wanted a whole nation of blue-eyed, blonde-haired people? Ask yourself that. And then when you come to the answer, ask yourself, why would our government fund that country but teach us about the Holocaust? And I'm going to land there.
You made a good point.
The man's name was Hitler.
Yeah. I mean, but here's the thing, though. How many of those Ukrainians are already coming over here right now, you got to say? Because I know we've already got at least 100,000 that been poured into the country. So you're sending billions over there to create infrastructure for them and this and that. But at the same time, I don't understand that, because if you're sending billions of dollars over there, and it's not only the U.S., it's all of Europe too now. Get that point, because like I say, you got the European Union talk about sending $1 billion too. So we don't know how much the European Union has sent over there to Ukraine to aid them and help them as well. So we could be talking about, by the time everything wraps up, or we could just be talking about by the end of this year, you could be looking at possibly $10 billion that the West, when I say the West, I'm talking about America, and I'm talking about the Western European powers, what they've sent to Ukraine. But if you're sending all that money, why do you have so many of them coming to this country? That just doesn't add up to me. Like, that's like Demi say 2 and 2, and like even KC said, I know KC was saying that you got a bunch of blondes and blue eyes and this and that. I don't, whether they're trying to recreate Hitler's dream of having an Aryan nation. Well, it's way too many people. There's way too many other people of different races and creeds here for that to even happen. So what's going to happen is you're going to have a lot of them white girls that's blonde hair, blue eyes getting a hold to black men and Latino men and Asian men and everything else. And their numbers are already scarred in terms of race mixing and this and that. So that's not going to work out well for me if that's a hope of theirs. Miss Giselle, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Demi's onto it. Now, it's one thing with the white women with the blonde hair, right? But as soon as they see them black men, they going to jump on and they never going to stop, right? We already done paused on abortion in some places. So they not trying to put their women at risk like that. They know they don't rock like that. They don't even have the rhythm to do so. So their men know their limitations. They're now outsourcing their women. They actually have a really high rate of prostitution in their country, and molestation, as well as rape to young girls. So this may be, I think this fuel of money is just a symbolic, I don't want to say gesture, because it's not a gesture, they gave them the damn money. So they basically is showing white supremacy still have the muscle. It's that illusion of power right now. They don't have the power, otherwise they wouldn't be sneaking the money onto our funds. If anybody knew, a few years ago, Russia mentioned, because I think it was Exxon who wanted to drill up in Russia. We do not get oil from Russia. So all of that bullshit about Russia is messing with our oil supply, that's bullshit. Whatever happened to when we used to strike oil? Remember back in the day, the Beverly Hillbillies? I keep repeating this. And they would strike oil. People would strike oil. You don't hear about that anymore. But
you still there, sister? You still there, Miss Giselle?
We just stopped seeing oil things. No, the gas stations. If you know, the gas stations always sit in clusters. You're like, why the hell is there 5 gas stations in this one area? That don't make logical sense when you're thinking on like sales, right?
Can you hear us, Miss Giselle?
Hear me?
Miss Giselle, Yeah, you had kind of got lost for a second there, like kind of got caught in the matrix, and so we kind of missed some of the points you were saying. Like we heard you say about the gas station, but you had kind of for about a 20 seconds that we kind of lost you. Like,
sorry about that. I don't know what's going on. Every couple space, it always does that. So the oil stations, like I believe these gas stations, and call it a conspiracy if you want. I don't have the proof, but I believe these gas stations are sitting on oil lines. It's no way possible these big old gas trucks riding around is the only thing that's fueling all of these millions of cars in America. Not happening. I think they may put something that mix the oil that's already in the ground to make it useful, unleaded and leaded for the cars. But I do not believe that they're carrying around oil. It's an illusion. So I believe that, and this is just me speaking. If anybody else know, I would love to know the details. That's not my area of expertise, but they're using that as an excuse. That's why Biden said, these gas stations are controlling those prices. It is true. They are controlling the prices. That money is getting filtered out. And it's a reason why they're filtering our money and they're draining our pockets. That's where we need to dive in to find out why they're pulling away the money that we do have and really collapsing our society slowly. So I'll end.
here's the crazy thing about it too. Casey, I saw that article. If you have that article, you can post it in the jumbotron. I want everybody to take a look at the jumbotron. This is just some of the news that we curated today. So if you guys get a chance, you can click on one of the links up there and go to the website and read the article or whatever. But that's just some of the news that Newstoter stated today. But one of the interesting things that I find about this is that we're sitting here right now battling inflation, rising prices, this and that. We're dealing with crumbling infrastructure right here in America between the roads, the bridges, the highways, the water systems, everything that you can think imaginable right here going on in the United States right now. And the first thing we say is that we don't have the money for this. We have to cut funding for this program. We have to do this. We have to do that. Yet we have enough resources, enough money to go ahead and ship it 5,000-6,000 miles overseas. Now, if we don't have the money and we don't have the ability to cut this tax and cut that tax, and we have to end this program, end that program, how in God's name? And not only that, how are we able to get Republicans and Democrats who fight and bicker about everything? Like they fight and bicker about the damn about the finances here and stuff right here in America. So how are they able to come together and to get together and go ahead and say, well, hey, we constantly fight about ending this program. We talk about getting rid of social entitlements and this and that. We go ahead and we sometimes let the debt ceiling rise, and that means that federal workers right here in this country right here end up losing pay at times and this and that. But we can all get along. We can all get an agreement to go ahead and cut Ukraine more money. How is that even possible? That we can go ahead out of all the infighting, all the bickering, we don't even want to have like the child tax credit for certain people and stuff in this country. We want to gripe and complain about this and that. Yet we have the money, we have the funds, and to date, this is $4 billion that the United States has gone over and sent to Ukraine. So how is that possible that we don't have the money for child care? We don't have the money for this and that. We dealing with gas prices at $5. We got the average probably rent income in this country about $1,500. Pay is stagnant. We don't even want to pay people $15 a damn hour. We sit up here and we complain about that, talk about how that's going to hurt small businesses and this and that. Yet we have billions of dollars to empty out and give to Ukraine again and again and again. And I just don't understand that. I just don't understand that logic, that reason. And I just don't understand how you have these two parties who are almost sworn enemies, can't ever get anything together. Everything is always partisan, always a partisan disagreement about this and that. Yet they have all been on board with this entire bipartisan agreement when it comes to funding Ukraine. So tell me, how is that possible? How is that? I mean, I'm having a hard time wrapping my mind around that. Maybe I'm seeing things. Maybe I'm just imagining stuff right here. But they've not had one issue in the past 5-6 months, however long this war's been going on. You've not heard any of them say, well, you've not heard the Democrats or Republicans say, well, I think we're giving Ukraine too much money. everybody's been in agreement that, hey, let's go ahead and empty this money out. And you haven't heard anything. When they give this money, they don't make any public uh, noise about it. They just go ahead and they sign an agreement and it's done. Before you know, next thing you know, you're reading the article that they have agreed to give money to Ukraine. You don't hear anything about taking a vote, like Casey said, about a commission, a study, an analysis, anything. They cut the check within milliseconds. So how is this possible? Go ahead and unmute your mic.
Well, brother, they the same people. They are related in some kind of way. If you do your research, you find out that that's the case. Most of them are married to each other or married to someone's cousin of a cousin of a nephew of a cousin. It's just like that. But not only are they giving this money to people who haven't given to the American society or put into the pot per se, like our taxes, we work and we put into the pot. Not only are they giving 1.7 billion just this time to Ukraine, but they are also silently signing Asian crime bills that's giving tons of millions of dollars away. And just a couple of days ago, the Washington Examiner quietly on the 8th of July, Biden administration signed a $177 million no bid contract for illegal immigrants to be housed to North Carolina. And if you read that, you know that they're receiving housing. So they get these houses, this funding. They get a whopping smooth transition from jumping over the border illegally. So it's not just this 1.7 billion that they quietly are being that they're giving away, but you got them doing this in our own country, like in our own state. Like imagine if they would have gave 177 million to the Negroes to move to North Carolina, right? As like a down payment for our reparations or something like that. They gave it to it's a no bid contract. You know what that means, right? That means nobody opposed it. Not the Republicans or the Democrats. So you see how that works? They all in it all together. I hate to have to be the one to say that, but it's the truth.
And I agree with you. Like I say, with all the issues and all the problems we have facing in this country right here, just simple things that and let's be and make no mistake about it. So the United States is giving $1.7 billion. $1.7 billion is about like $50 of most of us compared to the United States. So $1.7 billion is nothing. I'm just being real with it. The $4 billion they gave is nothing. The U.S. What they're doing right now with this money, I have exactly no idea. This money could make a big difference here in some of these black neighborhoods. Take for instance Jackson, Mississippi. I bring it back up. Jackson, Mississippi, and the absolute bad water system that they have now. I think they said something like $3 or $4 billion would fix their water system. The United States, I believe, and I think most of the people in this space also believe as well, before we go to Ukraine and give these people, and God forbid, I feel bad that the people in war, Russia attacked them. You're getting attacked by a superpower, this and that. I can imagine the type of destruction and everything that is taking place in that area and whatnot. You're constantly getting bombed. You're at war. Everything is torn apart. You're losing electricity, water, this and that. And I'm not saying that you should not give aid to allies and stuff like that in a time of need. But what I'm saying, before you also give aid to allies in a time of need, you also need to worry about your citizens right here in this country right here. And like I said, just between the amount of money that they're constantly giving, and this is just cash, who knows in terms of the weapons and everything else that they're supplying, what that actual number, that actual total really is about. And then not only that, we're bringing over Ukraine. We hear that they have some of the most racist, redneck, neo-Nazi type individuals in all of Europe. So you're bringing them over here now and infusing them with us, so you can expect headaches on the way. How you pronounce your name? Is Miracle, right?
Yeah, it's the Miracle Man. That's my artist name, but my real name is Jason. Everybody.
No
So
doubt.
yeah, and like I said, remember me and you was hanging out. I was hanging out on your show with Judge Joe Brown last month with DJ Sedgwick, my homeboy DJ Sedgwick. No. So
No
yeah,
doubt, brother.
yeah, that was a beautiful moment, man, with Mr. Brown, man. I was so blessed. But sticking on this subject, what kills me about our economy is how I live in an okay neighborhood, right? So I have like McDonald's. I have elementary schools on my street and stuff like that. And ever since the pandemic, my brothers and sisters, like I've seen the economy go way down. Like for example, my neighborhood bank that I used to go to my branch down the street and just hang out and handle my business or whatever. They closed that for like a whole year, and it's like, why is the economy going down like this when you're closing something that needs to be open? They don't have the grocery store. They had the grocery store closed. They had the gyms closed for like a whole year. I couldn't go to the gym for a whole year. I couldn't go to the bank for a whole year. And then on top of that, like the Burger King down the street, they closed that down. You can't even come in there no more. You have to go strictly through the drive-through and stuff like that. And what I'm trying to say is, if we can give this money to another country, how come we can't do that for our country? Especially when places like McDonald's and Burger King and Starbucks and Wells Fargo banks are going out of business. We need to take care of our country first before we take care of the other one. I'm not trying to be selfish. I'm just trying to be reasonable and logical. You know, if Mickey D's is going out of business, that means our economy is going down. You know what I'm saying? If Mickey D's doesn't have any more customers, like the McDonald's down the street from me, my brothers and sisters, I was down there earlier today when I was running some errands. I had stopped in just to see what it was like and see what they were doing. There was nobody in there. There was only like 2 or 3 people in there. And that
brother, I'm sorry, that's not a good one. That's not a good valid scale for us to test that on. I travel all over.
Hey, bless. Just let him finish it up, brother. Go ahead and raise your hand, and we'll let you be right next. Just go ahead and let him finish his point, and then you can go ahead and chime in.
No, I'm just saying with the economy, like if places like McDonald's and Burger King and the banks where we hold our money at are going out of business, how come we don't take care of those corporations first before we take care of Ukraine? That's what I'm trying to really say on, that subject. Like if we got $1.7 billion to give to Ukraine, how come we didn't help out the corporations that were built here in America, and stuff like that?
Hey, let's go ahead and unmute your mic and go ahead.
Thank you, brother. Yeah. So I see what you're saying, brother. But my thing is, if we're gonna look at that, I travel all over the country for work, and it just depends where you are. If the McDonald's is doing good or not. This McDonald's packed around the corner in New Orleans and Texas, but then in Oregon, the McDonald's be empty. So it just depends where it is. They not going out of business, and the ones that are doing bad in those type of areas, the people just have realized how shitty the food is, and that the fries don't spoil, and the burgers are made out of pink slime and not meat. So I understand that that money could be reallocated here and not to corporations actually, but to us, of course, my stance. But I'm just saying that's not a good scale to look at our economy when you look at the way houses are being built and shit. In every I've been in 10 states in the last year and a half, and everyone was building. Every single state was building. It was really actually interesting to see. But yeah, McDonald's. I know what you're saying. I just had to push back on that. I'll wait until my turn for the topic, though. Yeah.
Oh, it's no problem because I appreciate that. And when you educated me about everybody's building, in the past 2 months, I live out here in California, in Southern California, and they said they have this new apartment building just strictly for like homeless people and stuff like that. And so I understand what you're saying about building. And so they're building a new thing on that the famous Skid Row that you hear about out here in Los Angeles, California, or whatnot. So they're building buildings like that just for low income individuals and things like that. And they said they just made it out of steel and stuff like that. But it's an article on it that was in the paper a couple of months ago, the LA Times or whatnot. But go ahead, somebody else. But thanks. I see the other gentleman got his hand up. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and shoot it to everybody in a second. Blessed. I see you not following Newstoter, so make sure you go ahead and follow Newstoter. We are the largest curator of Black news today in America. If you want to stay up to date on Black content, you can just look in the jumbotron, and those are some of the actual posts and articles that we posted today. Like I said, we're the largest curator of Black news today in America. Make sure you're following us on Twitter. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, follow us on Facebook and Instagram. I'm gonna also add the actual newsletter in the jumbotron. I want to give a shout out to my girl. I see my girl Enough is up in the spot or whatever. Enough want to speak, sweetie. Go ahead and request. We'll go ahead and let you speak. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna shoot it to I, and then I'm gonna shoot it to KC. And if you guys would like to contribute to us, the New Black Media, you can do that on Cash App. That's also in the jumbotron. That is $Newstoter. That is $Newstoter. If you got $1 you'd like to contribute to the New Black Media, we'd be more than glad to accept that as a donation or contribution. Once again, that is $Newstoter. If you have a PayPal or Venmo account, that is also in the jumbotron. Our link. You can click on that and make a payment as well. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
Oh, gosh. What a day. God dang it. Newstoter said, man, I guess talking about Hunter Biden and Jill Biden and saying you're going to get on a show with laptop with Newstoter, get you permanently.
I know that ain't my dog.
The name is.
I already done made you get a new account, bro.
Yeah, man. It was a lot that was going on. They're trying to wrap their hands around this Hunter Biden thing right now, and then on top of that, let me tell you the other L that they took. I don't know if you even. Hey, I just sent you a link as a co-host, bro. Lord have mercy. Look. Do you know Jill Biden said Mexican people are like they're equivalent to
morning taco, breakfast taco.
I heard that. So they've been busy on Twitter today. So anything hardcore that was going to hit them heavy, they're getting hit from Jill. They're getting hit from Joe. They're getting hit from Hunter. I guess the prey has turned into the hunters. And we are about to literally be looking at our reparations being signed by Joe Biden because this is a political catastrophe. If I was his press secretary, I would have quit. I would have said, there's no way I can keep up with all of these type of topics right now. We are here, and I'm telling you, man, anybody should just check out the hashtags Hunter Biden. The reason that it's gone big today was because somebody released, I think it was Chat 4 or something like that. They released other messages, and then Hunter Biden had his father saved in his phone as pedo dad. I mean, can you really even get more?
Allegedly.
Allegedly, yes. It is alleged that his dad was saved in there as dad. And it's talking about the information is most likely 100%, or at least 99.99% talking about. Yeah, presumably. You gotta throw that allegedly out there. Allegedly, yourself. Yeah. It is allegedly. It's been alleged that pedo dad is POTUS in Hunter Biden's laptop. Allegedly, I think so. I presume so. I heard, but I'm not sure. But it might be. You might see for yourself. But it's very ironic that our ability to be able to just speak to one another really scares them. I was thinking about how back in the days, just 3 of us in a group would be considered illegal, and it would get us in trouble as we pertain to the government because they would see us coming together and they would say, what are they up to, right? So now we're on Twitter, we're on these spaces, they're able to hear us and they know what we're up to. And it's quite telling that the terrorists and everybody who has done a lot of damage to our community is able to have accounts. Nobody gets flagged. They're erasing the accounts that were open to the public that we're trying to see and they're erasing in real time. But then all of a sudden, next thing you know, those accounts were never banned. They were never deleted. That content, I think artists had on there that he was trying to cause a mass erasure. The next thing you know, he actually did it, but his account was never flagged. So it goes to show you, like, these guys got their own problems, but they can't see past us. And right now, giving our money to Ukraine, that's more of our reparations money, family. So every time you see $1 going out of here, going to Ukraine, I really want you guys to really understand that you can push the envelope with your representatives, with your local officials, and let them know to give answer to why are we giving money to open Nazis? Those are known in Time magazine. That's been known throughout the world. And I think it does it disgraceful because would they give Germans money during the time that the Holocaust was occurring? That's a question that they would be able to have to compare it to because that's the proper comparison. But I'll land and I'll just wait to listen. But it's been a while and I just got actually online. And I'm glad to be here with the family today. Much love to y'all. I'll try to follow as many as I can, but I'm still just getting caught back up, man.
I just followed you, man. I was like, because I sent a DM to you like when it started. I was like, damn, wait, Ari at? I said, well, maybe he got the babies and whatnot. He doing his thing. He'll be in a little bit later on. I was like, damn. I said, no, Ari gonna go do. He's supposed to be one of the co-hosts. So I'm like, I'm just waiting. I said, I know he got the kids and whatnot, so he'll probably be a little bit later, whatever, man. But yeah, everybody, man, make sure that's whoever was following Ivory's following, go ahead and follow him in the space, man. I just went ahead and followed him. So everybody that's following my man, go ahead and follow the host, the co-host, the host, and the 2 co-hosts in here, everybody. So make sure, yeah, man. And I'm glad you in here, man, because I'm like, damn, I know Ivory, he always goes in and whatnot and has definitely great opinions and whatnot. And so I'm just glad that you in here, man. And you're right. I knew, you know, when sometimes you go in too hard, because I don't know if you was in the space yesterday. And, you know, they had when you had Newstoter and like Ray said, you had Newstoter, you had Security Tribe up in here. Man, they shadow banned the hell out of the space yesterday, man. Like everybody was going in and out, in and out, in and out. So many people left comments and DMs about I done tried 10 times, I done tried 7 times, I done tried 20 times. And like I don't know what's going on. Marcel was in the had his hand up for the longest. He spoke for a little bit, hand stayed up. Marcel was in the Matrix. Like they just went ahead. The space yesterday ended up doing something like 20 over 2,400. Like I think 900 some people listened to it live, and over 1,000 and some odd people that listened to the recording. But had it not been shadow banned by Twitter yesterday, that space would have did every bit about 4,000 people, and they just went ahead and they just absolutely messed it up, man, because they didn't like exactly what it was talking about. And the fact that we was able to hit on that issue about this fake online petition that they was talking about, because you had Security Tribe up in there, you had Yaya, she was a co-host, you had KD was in there. You had Sonny was in there. So you had a number of the Security Tribe folks up in there. Plus you had the Newstoter people in there. And they, like I said, man, they just went ahead and they just messed up what should have been a classic space yesterday. They went ahead and they shadow banned it and they messed everything up. DJ, you was going to say something?
Brother Toto, what I'm noticing is that they got all of these underhanded algorithm tricks. Anytime we start getting popular and things are going good, they want to bring out the Elon Musk situation and they always want to create a confusion. Something else outside of what we're talking about. Something else outside of what we're focused on. We're pushing reparations and we haven't took our eye off the ball. And everything in the world is actually coming together to manifest that for us. Not only Sri Lanka, big up to them for taking back their government, but also that thing has actually started an epidemic in Australia. They're protesting their government. They're saying they're not going to be treated like slaves. In Italy, they're protesting their government. They're saying they're not going to be treated like slaves. In Hungary, they're protesting their government. They're saying they're not going to be treated like slaves. And who else was it? It was Australia, Italy, Hungary, and it was one more. And they literally have all Sri Lanka. Yeah, Sri Lanka. I mentioned them first. They like the fucking pinnacle of it right now. The governments are so afraid, right? Because what Sri Lanka did, Sri Lanka ran out tyranny, right? Sri Lanka pulled up and made their leaders get out. They didn't beat them up. They didn't injure them. They didn't hurt them. They didn't wish them any harm. They pulled up, and the presence alone of their unity. Look, you got people walking past police officers with the guns standing side to their side, and people are walking past police. Nobody's beating up police. Nobody's taking their anger and vengeance out on anyone. That's not how the people operate. When something's organic, all it wants to do is bring a balance back. It's not trying to topple anything. It's not trying to overpower. It's not trying to suck up the power and say, we got it now. It's saying that to the people is all the power deserving. And to the people should all the power belong. We shouldn't be having to fight our government and protest our government so hard for reparations. This should be something that morally they do. This should be something that's in a moral compass of a 20th century nation, that we should be able to see some type of productivity or growth. But keeping it honest, that's not what we see from these folks. And I think it's mainly because of the fact that when they give it to us, we're no longer going to be there in our GGER in our land.
No doubt, no doubt. I know you got the little one, so don't just stay there too, because we definitely, you're co-hosting, so you in the spot tonight. You got DJ. I see you got your hand up.
I want to say this one thing real quick. So that space I had just last night, they had that shit in the shadow realm. My space wasn't even in the home feed at all. It was out the whole night, bro. So nobody could find my space unless I invited you to it last night. Go ahead.
Yeah, because your space is basically a continuation of the one we had. So they went ahead and they stuck it to you as well. KC, go ahead. KC and Ray.
Yo, man, as Professor Black Truth says, you know what I'm saying? Power is not inclusive, it is exclusive. So if you were kind of shadow banned and only the folks that, fucks with you were able to get in there, those are the folks you need. Anybody else, these tethers and all these folks who want to just sit here and babble all night long, good. They weren't in there. But anyway, to answer that young man's question, I believe it was Miracle. Yeah, the big banks, they did get their reparations. It was 2008 and Barack Obama gave it to them. All those folks who were too big to fail, well, they still failed because they're greedy. But that's okay. Our reparations are still coming. That's first and foremost. I'll land my plane right there.
Yeah, the banks got their reparation, and the auto industries that was failing as well too. So don't forget that they bailed out GM and Chrysler and all the rest of them too, right along with those banks around that same time. So they all got their reparations as well too. Ray, go ahead and unmute your mic. Oh, hold on, Ray. Before you go ahead, let me give a shout out to DJ, and let me give a shout out to my girl Aunt Live for their contribution on Cash App, the Newstoter. Thank you guys so much for supporting New Black Media and the largest Black news curation site today in America. Thank you guys so much. And Ray, before I give it to you, man, I gotta add this because, and this is a little bit off topic, y'all, so forgive me. But today, a brother got hated on today. Like, I don't even want to name the person because me and her cool, but one of her, one somebody came up here and they was asking me about Newstoter or whatever. Like, do you publish your articles or do you curate them? I said, well, we're a curation platform. So this brother had the nerve to sit up here and tell me that, to go ahead and basically hire somebody, have somebody on the actual platform to go ahead and monitor the content that's coming in there, because this is supposed to, you have an FBA follower, you're supposed to be FBA, and you need to go ahead and make sure you see exactly what's coming on there, because some of that stuff we don't consider worthy or whatever. And I'm like, excuse me, like, first off, this is a curation site, so this is automated. What comes in, we have no way of stopping what comes in on the site. And secondly, who the hell are you to tell me how am I supposed to run my website? This brother was going, man, had to go back and forth or something, because he felt that he talking about that it's one thing when CNN and these other networks post this BS, but when you post it or whatever, and I'm trying to explain to this fool, because I know he probably reads on a 4th grade level or whatever, that, hey, curation automation means that it comes. There is no way you can't delete feeds, delete content off of that. It stays on the site. So basically, it's going to be things on Newstoter that I don't agree with, that's coming from multiple sources. You pick and you choose what you feel is worthy of your followers and stuff, what they might find interested or whatever. Like, there's plenty of things on Newstoter I agree with, And there's plenty of things I don't agree with. What I do agree with is having a content site that aggregates news from all different sorts of black media outlets and picking and choosing what I feel is worthy enough to share on Twitter or Facebook or whatever with the people or whatever. If you like it, fine. If you don't like it, fine. But don't sit up here and tell me what I need to do with my platform, okay? I don't come to your job and tell you what to do. And don't come here and tell me what to do because you felt like you saw something that was posted from Black Enterprise or whatever, and you didn't like it and you felt that it was anti-FBA or this and that. Man, we got liberal sites on there. We got conservative sites on there. We got really liberal sites. We got really red sites. We got over 20 some odd black sources. We got actual other curators on there that curate from major media outlets. So don't sit up here and tell me what I can do because I'm sure when you're on Twitter, you see posts and Facebook and posts and this and that you don't agree with, yet you on these white people platform and you don't have a problem with that. So I just kind of wanted to get that out there before because that really pissed me off today. And this chump, I was hoping he was going to show up in the space tonight and start popping off so I could straighten him because the last little comment I dropped on him, he didn't say nothing back. But don't sit up here and tell me because, I mean, there's plenty of media outlets right out there right now, black or white, and all of them are biased, all of them are slanted, all this and that. There's not one media outlet out there that you can say in terms of a news outlet, everything that they publish you agree with. I don't write the articles. All I do is curate them. So on that note, Ray, you go ahead.
I want to talk about this Hunter Biden situation and Brother Irie bought it. I don't know if anyone has noticed, but Apple has introduced a new feature. It's going to be in the new iOS 16 update called Lockdown Mode. So since all this alleged stuff has been put out, Apple had to create lockdown mode, and it's to protect high-profile users such as politicians and activists against state-sanctioned hackers. I don't know, the timing on that is super convenient, right? As all this alleged stuff came out. I want to let all the family know some of this stuff is very damning. Like if you haven't seen the stuff on 4chan, about him allegedly sending, pictures to his dad of him having, sex with random women. Hunter Biden allegedly searched for, 12-year-olds on porn sites.
What?
Oh yeah. There's obviously video of him arguing with, I say allegedly, with all these different women arguing about, crack rocks and all this other stuff or meth, whatever it was. And obviously the whole pedo Pete thing, it's just a whole bunch of foolishness. But like I said, since Irie brought it up, I wanted to make sure I mentioned that. And last night, I know y'all seen I was in that lake space, and I'm talking to Enough and DJ. So, I just couldn't. I normally sleep about 2 hours a night. After I listen to you guys, I fall asleep about midnight, get up about 2 for work. But I saw that TS was in there and Enough was in the same space. I said, I can't miss this. So I kind of put the headphone in, and DJ called me out. He was like, "Hey, Ray, you supposed to be asleep?" But yeah, I couldn't help it. I had to get a little bit of foolishness in before I laid down last night.
I told you though. I just wasn't in the mood to argue with the prostitute. Okay, I just wasn't in the mood to argue with prostitute men last night. I just wasn't on it. I wasn't on the bullshit. I was just trying to be on some laid back. I was tired. Okay, so if she want to come in here tonight, I'm ready for her. Okay, but yeah.
I feel you on that. I was in that space too with you, Ray, because I was in there. Normally, I come in there for a few minutes before I go ahead and turn in for the night, but I was in there for a little bit too. And of course, TS was talking about what space was that, DJ? We had Jesus, like we having so many spaces now that I'm forgetting like what we. It was a space before. It was which space was that we had the TS?
You just had it last night. It was the one about the hate crime bill. And somebody brought her name up.
Yeah, they brought her name up in there last night.
I'm about to tell you right now. Hold on, give me a second.
Yeah, they brought her name up in the one before that because she said that she signed the hate bill, the FBA hate bill.
Yeah, that was the petition one. But hold on, you talking about right before that one. Hold up a minute. What was that?
Yes, she's talking about she signed it. So yeah, TS always comes in here trolling and whatnot, man. Like. And nobody last night was even trying.
The twerking senator and the transgender Stacey Abrams thing.
That's what that's what he was talking about. That he came up in the actual and was talking about, I signed the anti-FBA bill. And somehow this is what I'm talking about with Negroes, because last night
and he repeated it at the other one, which the one Enough is talking about, which is hold up a minute. Let me not go back up in there. Which was the one we had just yesterday, the petition against FBA, right?
So TS couldn't get up in the spot yesterday because I think Yaya had blocked or whatever, so TS couldn't even get in there. But TS had somebody in there because TS DM DJ saying that I heard that my name came up in y'all conversation. So TS had to have somebody up in the spot that went back in and told that the name came up or whatever. So I'm not.
We got some undercover brothers in the building.
Yeah, that's all you got, man. Either that or you got some. Or you got some.
I'm just gonna call it what it is.
No slow-mo, you know what I'm saying?
Literally undercover.
Or you got some sisters too, because you know how sometimes the sisters love hanging out with like the TSs and stuff like that. So they probably ran back. The old girl, they talking about.
No, we gonna call it what it is, because you always talk about don't let me expose you. She always saying that up here. Don't let me expose you, because next time she say that shit, I'm gonna say just put it out there, put it in the jumbotron.
Expose that.
Let's expose them. We gonna get
enough. Don't nobody want to see all that. Nobody want to see all that.
We got to know.
That's what we mean.
We got to know what is going on.
Tell us who it is. Don't show us what it is.
Okay.
I love y'all. Y'all got me cracking up. I love y'all.
No, man, we cannot be looking at pictures of T.S. Giselle in the Jumbotron. I'm just saying.
I didn't say no pictures. I just want to see the messages. Because every time we up here, you can't lie. Every time she up here with us, or anytime she in a room,
I am not.
Don't let me give it up. Don't give it up like that.
Don't put them in.
I am not involved with that she devil. Okay, leave me out of it. I don't got. She don't want
No, sis. You was in here. You went off on her. She was going on talking about she was gonna expose people. So I want her to expose them. My thing is this: I don't even care if you gay, but don't sit up here and act like
that was touched.
I don't know. Exactly.
It's touched.
It's ugly.
It's touched.
He ugly.
Okay, we gonna
let's get back on topic.
Yeah, because I don't want to talk about no TS because I don't want to pop in the head up in here. Tell, I heard somebody was talking and come up in here to request to speak.
We got the smoke for it today.
Yeah, I apologize. That was my fault. I brought that up, so I apologize to the room.
Let it come on up in here.
Yeah, because I know how Enough and Demi are when TS pop in. So no. Demi, you probably forgot what you wanted to ask.
No, I didn't. I'm kind of looking through it right now. I don't know if any of y'all on BitchTube. BitchTube is just like another form of, what is it? Shan. What is that channel called? That the racist people be on? 4chan. But BitchTube is a little bit more. It's a little bit more presentable. But not only now, I don't know if y'all allegedly, I'm putting this out there, y'all. I don't think Ray, when he had a picture of where it says POTUS in his, you know that picture where it says 2 POTUS and he's sending those sex scenes. That year that picture was taken, Obama was the POTUS, and also the next picture roll, it got Obama's daughter's credit card.
Allegedly.
I mean, that's the spelling of her name, but allegedly, by the stuff or whatever they doing. So I just want to allegedly, that's what I'm looking at. So I don't know. That picture couldn't have been to his father. It could have been to somebody else, allegedly.
How long has this boy been
I don't know about all that. I just want to focus on Hunter.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, that's what he's talking about. That's what he's talking about. But I'm saying, how long has this boy been a crackhead here?
always been a crackhead.
I mean, you know that. And that's why I say
we knew we didn't have beat up with it. So.
Yeah, but that's why I say everybody who was locked up on that 3-strike law should be released immediately. Because he locked these people up for just you could have a seed found in your car, and it could have been your third time getting arrested, and you doing 45 years for a seed of marijuana. But your son is sending you photos and videos of him allegedly. I don't like to talk like that because it's like so fake, but still, allegedly.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like everybody who was arrested on that Joe Biden's crime bill, we should be saying, man, they should be released immediately.
Yeah, I was gonna say the 3 strikes bill is only relative to California, but that crime bill was the whole country, and something needs to fucking happen. That's why they're trying to do this. They took away our families with that damn crime bill. Literally, they changed the out of our communities, black fathers being gone, and this motherfucker is here allegedly weighing up crack cocaine on the scale, laughing and shit. And that's just the one video I saw, and I heard there's another video out of some other shit going on with this motherfucker. And his daddy
500 gigabytes of stuff. 500 gigabytes.
See, thank you. And his daddy, I remember him saying, it don't matter if they didn't have parents or their circumstances. It matters that they crack, super predators and all this shit. No. We gotta really make an uproar about this shit. Because this is ridiculous.
Facts. Real talk. Let my girl enough. She got her hand up. Let my girl enough go through.
Hi, I just want to direct everybody to the Jumbotron just in case you haven't seen what's going on with Hunter Biden and his crackheaded ass, okay? Allegedly, okay? We know what the fuck it is though, right? But yeah, and him and his pedophile ass dad and his sick daughter, allegedly, okay? Just want to direct you there if you haven't seen. If you're in the room and you really don't know what is actually going on, yeah, check it out and make sure we're using those hashtags. I don't know where Irie is, but yeah, that's it.
Damn, I just noticed that. I just noticed Irie gone. Let's see. Okay, he getting ready to come back on. He might be having issues with the space as well too. So
what happened to his?
Boy, they doing the most right now, huh? Jeez.
They trying to whitewash us.
Every time you talk about that fight,
please lock your accounts. Please lock your accounts. Those who not following you, they just ass out. You gotta lock it, bro.
I'm doing it right now.
Just lock it.
I'm doing it right now. Go ahead.
Just real quick, neither Brother Ray nor myself recognize Hunter Biden as any kind of a shipmate. Just saying.
This dude, all the money in the world his family got, he decides to smoke crack. I mean, that's just out of all of the drugs out there in the world for him to try, he decides to become a crackhead. Of all the stuff he can get high off of, he decides to try crack one day. I mean, how is this even? This shouldn't even be accessible to this dude right here, where he lives at, where he grew up. I'm sure he went to private school, all this, tutors, and he decides to smoke crack.
Hunter is a lifelong fuck up, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if y'all know that. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, the army didn't even want.
It's not Hunter Biden first running with anything.
The military didn't even want him.
Well, hold up.
Yeah, he was kicked out of the Navy for cocaine.
Yeah.
I
want you guys to also. He also passed the bar.
He probably had somebody pass it for him.
There you go. That's the type of shit I'm talking about. These are the people they trying to make us pay $500, $700 an hour to. People like him. And I don't want you to even get it twisted and get it misconstrued. Hunter Biden is deserving of the crack. And that's our ancestors hitting him for what his dad did to our people. Because the same measure you meet unto another shall be met also. So Hunter Biden is a reciprocal value of everything his dad sold in our community, and now the chickens has come home to roost for the Biden family. Not just Hunter Biden, but even his mom's a fuck up. Even his dad's waving at our ancestors. It's over for the whole family. The only thing they can do good right now is have a little R&R, and that's sign reparations and resign.
I was just about to say that, brother.
The chicken's coming home to roost. That's from the Godfather episode. It was good. I like how you did that.
There's no way
that would be.
to let Joe Biden run again. Hey, they're going to have to pick someone else in 2024.
But how can
Hillary Clinton?
Wait, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second, y'all. 1 second. 1 second. This is the problem, though, Ray. How can you have a sitting president? I mean, this is almost unheard of. The only time I can think of in our lifetime is when you had Ted Kennedy go up there and run against Jimmy Carter. Whenever you have a sitting president up there, and then you have somebody in the party comes up there to go ahead and challenge him, it's almost like suicidal for the party. It's almost like just giving everything up. So the talk with this dude, unless he just goes ahead and says, I'm not going to run, that would be their best bet. I'm sure they're probably trying to get him to go ahead and decide, like, come on, Joe, your lifelong dream of being president was reached. Go ahead and let's let the next candidate come up here and be better for the party and this and that. He's a stubborn old bird, though, so I doubt seriously he's going to do that. So I'm glad. I hope he sticks to his guns and he don't do it. I hope he does it. He says, hey, I'm going to go ahead. I was a president and I'm going to stay the president. I'm going to run again. But it's almost suicide to go ahead and for another Democrat to come along and challenge him in the party. It's going to split the party. That's what it's going to do. So I just don't see it.
No, you're good. Go finish. Man, you're playing this.
Yeah. I just don't see them. I just don't see it doing it. It's going to cause an issue. It's going to cause a problem if they do it. But hell, I don't care. I don't care if it splits the party into 10 different portions. I don't care. So if that's what they want to do, fine. But I know they're hoping.
Even if they wanted to, brother, who could they pick? Elizabeth Warren? Are they going to try to get like Pete Buttigieg? They're going to go for Sherrod Brown, Cory Booker, Gavin Newsom. Like, who would they have?
Listen.
You're right.
Joe Biden.
No, he's not right. They have the governor of California. He is trying to run. That's why he's doing all this shit out there. And that nigga's gonna win because he's doing everything for everybody. He don't say no. Any paperwork gets put in front of him, he signs it. He don't even read the shit. So we got to think about that too, because these conversations are being had.
Wait. Hold on, because I'm gonna kick it to Demi real quick. You saying that? Who you saying that? Well, you talking about what's the president Newsom? I mean, the governor Newsom. You talking about out there in California?
Yes.
And you think Newsom, man, he's going to do what? Win a Democratic nomination over Joe Biden?
I think that's going to be the next.
He's way too far left.
Yeah, he's too far left for his own party, even.
And also, he does a lot of shit for everyone. Do y'all not? He literally. So these groups will vote for him, y'all. Spread out. I'm telling y'all. You got to look at what he's doing in California to see. That's why he's doing it. Putting in his bid.
I don't know. Like I say, it's suicide. The challenge is the challenge. A citizen look for your party. I'm sure when the Republicans had Trump that last time he ran for president, when he got beat by Biden, they wish that they could have had somebody else up there. But it makes the party look weak when you go ahead and you can't let a sitting president go up there and run for re-election. When you got to have somebody actually challenge him in the party, it makes your party look weak and desperate to do that. And like I said,
that is very true. But
they are weak and desperate, and they know we know. That's why they keep throwing new stuff out.
Okay, can I speak real quick, brothers?
The
only way that Democrats can win the election is if they slide Michelle Obama through. That's it. She will get the majority vote. She will get the popular vote. That is the only way for them to win, bruh. Period. Yes. If you look at the last poll they took of the popular presidents, the Obama still hold it. You know he can't run again. But if they slide Michelle through, she will win that thing, and y'all know it because there's so many feminists and there's so many. She will have her coon cape on. Period.
You my girl, Demi, but I'm gonna have to go ahead and disagree with you on that because the Obama magic has worn off. There's a lot of people still pissed with Barack Obama himself, and if they go ahead and that magic that he had in 2008, that's not going to go. And then you're talking about, and we still in a society too now. You're talking about a black woman. You're not talking about Barack Obama for what they want to say he was the first black president. Barack Obama was also mixed as well. Now you're talking about a full-fledged black woman running for president, becoming and doing something that a white woman hasn't even done. Being the president of the United States, Hillary Clinton, everybody thought she was a shoo-in, that she was going to be the first female president of the United States.
I was saying for the party to win. That's the only way they could win if they bring a female through.
I don't think a black female.
Yeah, they did.
They'll try to bring a gay Asian female mixed with black.
Ray got his hand up, so I'm gonna let Ray go and enough. And I want to thank Brother Moko for his contribution on Cash App as well. The Newstoter. Ray, go ahead and unmute your mic. And matter of fact, let's no problem. Everybody, let's try to raise our hands so we don't cut each other off because we kind of like everybody kind of like cutting each other in and whatnot. So Ray and enough go next.
Yeah, I apologize to my sister. I didn't mean to jump in ahead of you. I just wanted to throw that point in. But I was going to say, yeah, if Michelle Obama runs, they would probably have to get someone like Pete Buttigieg because then they can say, oh, we're going to have the first black woman and then the first gay man in there. But to be honest, if we're going to be honest, a lot of people are still extremely pissed off with Democrats about these COVID shots because they were literally taking stuff away from us until we complied and then calling that a choice. So they might be, destroyed just for that.
No doubt. Enough. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Another thing about it is too is that Joe Biden is the original Dixiecrat of everything that the Democrat was supposed to be. Like when you see that kind of energy out there, when you see that kind of momentum that he has that's going down. The only reason it's going down right now is, like the brother said, because of COVID and everything that comes with it. But make no mistake about it, these folks is also upset about Ukraine, right? We're seeing it and saying reparations. They're seeing it and saying you only gave us $2,000 for the whole year, and you're giving out this much money, and our country is actually doing bad. So they're seeing it from a whole different perspective. So really, the whole damn White House can literally get a whole left and right fucking catastrophe happening, where they're going ahead and looking at us saying reparations and we ain't doing shit for none of y'all until we get it. And then they're looking on the other side saying, you're sending so much money to Ukraine and you ain't do nothing for us. You took our jobs. We lost our economies. We lost our families. A lot of folks lost their careers. So it's real bad right now. And I think, honestly, to be 100% honest with y'all, Michelle Obama can't even save them. I repeat, and I think I'm just going to keep repeating this till the goddamn roosters come home. Joe Biden and the Biden family are going to have to take a little R&R. They're going to have to pay reparations and resign. That is the only way that the Democratic Party can even be salvageable. It's lost all forms of decency. It's lost all forms of morality. It is not looked at as anything serious. It is always seen as an undermining force. And I believe wholeheartedly and in totality that they only are salvageable by paying reparations and resigning. If he pay reparations and try to stay, it'll still be a catastrophe because they'll still have a negative vote. So they'll need a new president, somebody with a new face that could say we at least wrote our history sins right and we could go forward. But right now, there is no forward for any Democratic Party whatsoever in any legitimate form. And I'll stay on that all day. I don't see it. But I yield.
No doubt, no doubt. Let me enough. Go ahead and enough, and then Ray.
I want all the women in the room to see how these men just jump in front of you. You understand what I'm saying? They don't let you talk. I just want y'all to see this, okay?
Our bad. That's our bad. You right.
No, right. It's okay. You my brother.
We're trying to fix the black community. We got to leave.
So disrespectful.
You feel me? And you talking about we trying to fix the black community. Be quiet. But anyways, no, for real. What is it gonna say?
Don't let me call T.S. Giselle up in here, okay?
Oh, get her. Bring her.
No, please don't. I don't want to hear either. She can one of us all she wants.
Yeah, I bet you this room will get juking real fast. Okay, everybody be running over here trying to see what the fuck going on. But anyways, let me tell you something. If Donald Trump runs again, I will be voting for Donald Trump. I want you to know why, because I'm not voting for any Democrat that is not giving me anything. And I'm gonna vote for policy. So as far as the policy goes, the policy is you close them fucking borders, okay, and you get these people up out of here. Because nobody's gonna come and replace me or my men. You understand what I'm saying? Or my women. Okay. And then another thing is, have you ever noticed how when we go down and we protest for being shot by the police, we're like, oh, yeah, we just want to stop being shot by the police. No justice, no peace. But then when somebody asks the person that's on the mic, what is the end result? What is the end result? Nobody never says what the end result, what are we actually asking for? We are being genocide, and we need to start speaking on that at this rally. We need to let it be known. We need to let it be known. But yeah, that's all I had to say. All right, I'm gonna land my mic right there.
Yes, Queen.
Hey Ray, go ahead and unmute your mic, bro.
I was just gonna say the Democrats don't really even understand how united this country would really be if they would actually just pay the reparations. Go ahead and get it over with. And actually, that would actually unify the country. It really would. I understand there's going to be some white racists that don't like it, but they don't like nothing we do anyway, so we might
as well. There's going to be a ton of white racists that don't like it.
Oh, and a lot of them going to be in the Democratic Party, too. Oh, let's just be very clear about that. Yeah, I just wanted to say that. This is ridiculous. I want to can't because they too busy playing politics.
I had an article today. It was an older one on Newstoter, but I went ahead and I tweeted it out, and I think it was saying something like Newsweek or one of those publications was saying that racism has cost the American society. Racism against black people cost them something like $70 trillion. Like, think about that. We only talking about $20 trillion, and they talking about that it has cost us $70 trillion. So if they're saying it costs us $70 trillion, in actuality, it's probably something like $400-500 trillion. So that's just to let you think about that. And I agree with you on that, Ray, that if these people was just to go ahead and stop being fools and to give black people what they got, it's not going to hurt the economy. It's only going to boost it up. It's only going to bring more money and bring more business and have a booming economy. So it's not going to hurt it. And that's something that they notice, but for whatever reason, you got such a hatred of a people like that you just don't want to see through it. I mean, you're so used to being on top of them that you don't want to look at these people eye to eye level. You're so used to looking down at these people like you some kind of damn god almost, and we're some kind of children. So the simple fact that if you, like you said, if you gave this money, if you gave reparations, and you gave this stuff, if you all the money that you give in Ukraine, all the aid that you give in Israel, all the aid that you give in all these foreign countries who ain't have anything to do with your success, with your wealth, with anything to do. How much money do you think the U.S. gives in foreign aid a year? I'm sure they probably give close to $1 trillion a year. That $1 trillion should be going straight to us. I mean, we're already something like if we were a nation, we'd be something like the 12th or 13th richest nation in the world, and that's without any tangibles, any resources. So if we actually had tangibles and resources, the foreign aid that you give in Ukraine and Israel and this place and that place and that place and that place, if that was going to the black community, instead of being 12th or 13th in the nation and in the world in terms of economy, we'd probably be in the top 5. And that's just how it is. Bless, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Thanks. Let me start with, the number is not delineated with us being in the top in the nation. It's a lot of wealthy African and Caribbean immigrants that will be included in that number. I'm sure we'll still be number 1, but it might be a little less. I just want to wake that up. But so it pretty much any data that's on us, it all includes black and African immigrants. It's not just us. But to Ray's point, I gotta disagree. I think it will start a civil war because the issue is even non-racist white people are against reparations. I have these conversations on these apps, and the crackers, they not with the shit. They just not even. I mean, unless someone like one of us can tell them the real history, they don't even understand the depths. Most of them, the average white person, the average American, does not understand and can't fathom what's happened to us and why we're truly old and how we've been locked out.
No, brother, not to cut you off.
I'm sorry, I disagree. They know.
Well, they know. They like to play dumb and play stupid. Because I was with this redneck earlier today, going back and forth on Twitter, and he's talking about all the crime black people doing. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, if you want to talk about crime, I'm like, you came here and you stole a continent, you stole a hemisphere, you stole people, you stole everything.
Started 2 world wars.
Yeah, everything that you got in this world came from them. Thievery, backstabbing, killing, murder, everything else. So don't sit up here and play God with us that you so holy and pure now that you done stole everything but the kitchen sink and you so afraid that somebody else is going to do it to you. So, no, bull. They know because you can't tell a white person that they're not a historian. They know. And they're proud of their heritage. They're proud of the thievery and everything else they got. They might sit here and say, well, we did that back then when the world was this way and this way. But they're absolutely proud of what they did. I know that, but no, they know about the slavery. They know about Jim Crow. They don't understand the feeding babies to alligators. They don't understand how we were locked out of building wealth after slavery. Most white folks don't know their granddaddy got land from the Homestead Act and got a house on the GI Bill. That is not common knowledge. Because their granddaddies was lying and saying they picked themselves up by their bootstraps. They were saying they worked hard. So they've been lying. That's why they don't want CRT talk, y'all. Because they don't want their grandkids and shit to know that they only got money because we've been at the bottom of the cash system.
Now there is something to what that brother
they know about, right?
It is. So, brother blessed. It's written even biblically. It says they will say we've inherited lies for a heritage. So, nah, brother, there is something you're saying to that. Keep bringing that.
Thank you, brother. And I didn't even know that. You see, and so that's what I'm telling y'all. I'm not telling y'all what I think. This is an opinion. I literally have been doing this shit for 4 years now, and I know I'm like you're right. They know about the basic shit, but they don't know about the real reason that we are in our financial situation. They know white folks run the shit and they hire it, but they don't understand all them free handouts because one of the biggest white folk pushbacks is they don't believe in handouts for race. That's when you say, okay, well, it's not race-based, it's lineage-based. So then you got them with that. Boom. Then you say, well, it's not. Well, white people have been getting handouts since they've been coming here. So what are you talking about? So I agree with y'all to an extent, but what I'm trying to tell you, the pushback is going to be severe unless there is a great education of everybody, not even just them crackers. The education is not fucking there. Y'all can't tell me it is. They know the bad shit they did, but they don't understand how it has us in this state today, and how every few years when we do progress, they steal it or figure out a new way to hold us back, or import more. Like it's so many trick bags. And it's
brother. I'm gonna let you finish, but I gotta cut in. Like I agree with you saying on the part that it would cause and you would have a serious issue with these people in terms of race. But let's not act like it wasn't modern times that these same white people you could talk about. They don't know about the Homestead Act and they don't know about the alligators being fed to the kids, but they know enough to remember seeing them videotapes of the 60s with women getting water hoses turned on them. They know enough to know that you had school bombings taking place. They know enough to know that black men was getting their head bashed open. They see right now black men being unarmed, shot on the street. So white people do not care. Okay, let's be for real. They came from a place where it was dog eat dog. It was survival of the fittest, and that is all they know. And they feel like, hey, if you're not man enough to defend your land, your property, and we take it, that's just to the victor goes the spoils. That is their bread and their butter. They know exactly about that. That is who they are as a people. That's always been who they are as a people. If you was to sit down and teach this in class and explain everything that you said, from the alligators to slavery, this and that, they know about slavery. They know about black people being sold. They know about rape and everything else. They know about families being split apart. They know all of this stuff right here. I'm going to let you go, but hold on. They know every key instrument. These are the same people that can tell you how old a damn rock is. That they can do carbon dating and tell you that this rock is 300,000 years age old. So they know about all this stuff. But white people will tell you in a heartbeat, well, hey, the ones right here now. So, hey, I wasn't around then. I wasn't alive. I didn't have anything to do with that. That was a people there. You can't let that hold you back. That was a long time ago. I had nothing to do with it. I didn't gain wealth like that. It's not my fault. It's not my problem. My ancestors wasn't even over here. They didn't come through Ellis Island to 1905 and all this other garbage. So no, they will sit up there and they will play stupid with you while at the same time these people know about white supremacy. Everybody talk about white supremacy is for the older people, this and that. If that's the case, it would have been gone by now. Each generation of white kids that keep coming in here, they're living the same white supremacy lie that their family told them. That's why you had the white boys going up here mass murdering this and that on their rifles, talking about reparations and this and that. These people know exactly about that. We can't sit up here and play stupid with them. They know. They may pretend that they don't. White people like to pretend too now. They're born actors. There's one reason you can't beat them in those Emmy awards and stuff like that. They're the greatest actors that the world has ever produced. They will sit up here and stone face lie and this and that while willing a damn knife in your back. They know exactly what's going on. They can pretend and lie and this and that, but they know they come from a place, like I say, from 100-year wars, continental wars, from the holy wars to damn colonization to slavery. This is who they are as a people. When the damn ice age ended, they came out of those caves, and the only thing they could think about when them damn Moors took their foot off their throat in Spain was how we can rule the damn world. This is who they are as a people. They are never going to let up unless you make them let up. That's who they are. They don't give a damn about what you went through. They feel like that they were smarter than you. They got guns, and they had the balls to take and do stuff that you couldn't do.
And that is the underlying. I'm giving you that absolutely. We know you're right. It's a finesse game, absolutely. But it is some relevance to my statement as far as the education of the. You got to understand how bootstrapping has messed up everyone and the guys of bootstrapping, because we the only ones who've been bootstrapping with no boots. Everybody else. That's why immigrants come and say it. They have been doing this on purpose to make people be like, no, it's black people's fault. They're not doing good financially because they didn't pull themselves up by the bootstraps. We came here with nothing in 1904, and look, we're rich now. So I understand what you're saying, but this is they have spent billions to not pay us our truth, especially with us waking up like this. So I'm with y'all, and I get that. And also, let me land with this: when they do finally admit after I've debunked everything, taught they ass some shit like you said, and every rebuttal they have is just ignorant, and I challenge it with logic and facts, and they can't. I make it undeniable, and then they're like, okay, yeah, you're right, we do owe y'all, but what about programs? So I'm telling you, if they just cut us all checks, they're gonna be mad. I work across the country. These white folks are poor as hell in rural areas. And it's gonna be a big push. I'm telling y'all, it's just inevitable. They're not gonna be cool with giving us money, even if they are cool with something. I'm telling y'all, it's gonna be a real fight.
Well, brother, and I agree with you on that part. I'm not to cut you off, Ari, but I agree with you on that part. It will be a fight because they have made the entire world think, like you say, we just a bunch of lazy. They'll say that they get welfare and this and that. We've given them enough programs, and they just haven't pulled themselves up. So I agree with you. Not only will the whites be mad, but now because they went ahead and they spread white supremacy all throughout the world, the Asians will be talking smack, the Latinos will be talking smack, the Arabs will be talking smack, and we already see the black immigrants over here that's supposed to be standing behind us. They'll be talking smack as well. I'm gonna let you go, and then we're gonna go back to Enough, Ray, and Demi.
Also, what Brother Newstoter said is fucking also biblical. They don't regard the old. They don't regard women. They don't regard the children. They don't regard anything. And what also Newstoter said that was prophetic, which is that they only understand one language, and that's war. They only understand. Dude, the fact that this system is called the federal, the word federal comes from the word feudal. It's a feudal system because back in the days, for them, when they were in their kingdoms, all by themselves with each other, they would use jesters, they would use the horse battles, they would have open battles because literally that's how they looked at power. They looked at if you had a kingdom, you need to show your power. That's where war games and shit come from. A lot of this stuff that we realizing with these folks that's naturally inherent in them is the reason why we go through a lot of this stuff. They're naturally violent. They naturally have a propensity to kill. They have a natural propensity to see people doing bad and have no empathy, so they're kind of heartless. So there's kind of this rationale that we also must get over, and thinking that a lot of this is just going to be political, because politics is just war without bloodshed. A lot of them is just saying fuck the politics. Look at Joe Biden; he's saying screw even his own Supreme Court. Like, since when did that even happen? So you can see this internal rift that's taking place before our eyes that I think speaks a lot to what Brother Newstoter just said. I'll land right here.
No doubt, no doubt. Enough. Go ahead, sweetie. Go ahead and unmute your mic.
Okay, thank you very much for letting me speak tonight. Good evening, everybody. No, I'm just I wanted to say that it will be a fight. It will. It's going to come down. I really, in my heart, I've really been having dreams about this. Like, it will be a civil war in order, but just look at the end results of what is going to happen. It will be a civil war because people are going to fight it tooth and nail. Because you got to remember, like you said, there's so many white people that are also not doing good. Okay, and so they're going to fight this tooth and nail, and it's going to be whoever makes it out is the winner, and we've always overcame. Okay, so we just have to remember that and just get ready. You know what I mean? And we got to find some allies outside of the United States, because we're gonna need everything and everyone, and that's some real shit. We're gonna need some allies outside of the United States. Okay, and I'm not saying we're going to war, okay, because we is on record. But what I am saying is, this is what it's gonna come down to. Okay, all right.
No doubt, no doubt. I'm gonna step away from the mic for 1 second, DJ, but hold it down. We got Ray next, and then we got Demi. So go ahead and hold it down real quick.
For sure. Go ahead, Ray. And I'll just piggyback off this one thing what Brother Irie said real quick. Look up the Netflix show, The Last Kingdom. The Last Kingdom. This is how these people are rolling. It's nothing has changed. It just looks different. We're just in a modern society. They still playing the same war tactics, yo. But go ahead, Ray.
I was just gonna say this. So if white people aren't doing good after they had a 400-year head start, that's on them. I just want to say that's not on us. After 400 years, if you're still lacking, that's on y'all.
No, that's a fact.
I mean, these people, they call us lazy and all this other stuff, but they literally went to another continent to get out of doing work. Well, that sink in real quick. And I was just gonna say about the Civil War, we cannot let these people scare us. We have to stand up to it. If it happens, it just happens. We got to go for it. We can't leave this on our children for them to die. We're the men. We got to step up. That's just is what it is. We have to have money. They gonna offer education and all this other crap. That's not really tangible. I can get education from listening to you guys speak. You know what I'm saying? You can get education from anywhere. And the last point I wanted to make about these damn tellers, and this really ties into the space last night. And they got that whole petition where where they're saying all this hateful stuff we're doing, et cetera, et cetera. The tellers don't want us to get anything because they cannot benefit from it. And so because they cannot benefit from it, they're going to try to destroy it. That's how they think, just like the white supremacists does. If I can't have it, neither can you.
And also, what Brother Newstoter said that was true. The propensity that they look at stuff is very much real, to the degree where they say, like, okay, like, if this your country and we fighting you for it, you don't fight back for it, it's our country now. If you don't want to fight for your reparations, then we won't give it to you. If you don't want to fight for your rights, then we won't give you any. That's like, everything has always been up for us anyway. Like, what you think that the dogs and the hoses reflect? So it's like, when we really thinking about reparations, our mindset isn't really geared towards our ancestral struggle, but everything else we've got, knowing that reparations is the last Mohican or the last dance, then we're not really looking at reparations from the perspective like we have to do, Tyler just said, where, hey, they want to look at us like, okay, if you want it, do you want to earn it? And we sitting over here like, I want to vote for it. No, these motherfuckers don't understand voting. You see how they pulled up at January 6th? They look at voting like that. So, yeah, I'll land there.
These men, before I shoot it, I go ahead and hand it to Demi. If anybody's ever seen Game of Thrones, like I heard DJ talk about the Netflix show, but if you ever seen Game of Thrones, this is a natural instinct. On Game of Thrones, they would murder a baby if they thought it was going to bring them power. They don't care. They are ruthless. They don't give a damn. If you're not willing to match them, then you're gonna get obliterated. That's what they look at.
Very, very, very. That's what the Netflix show, The Last Kingdom. Very, very similar. Vikings, Game of Thrones, but this specifically details in nations how they took, certain tribes took over certain other tribes, and how the one main character Utrecht. We Utrecht right now. Somebody came and took our shit. We trying to get it back. That's all it is. You know what I mean? Or whatever was promised to us, our ancestors, which will be our inheritance, which is their reparations to 40 acres in the mill. We want that because it don't belong to you. So we got to come with a killmonger attitude. Feel me?
Go ahead, Demi, and we got Demi, then we got Bless, and then we got you know what? Since John Horse hasn't spoke, we'll go Demi, John Horse, and then we'll go Bless. Go ahead, Demi.
Okay, thank you for letting me speak again, brothers. But I wanted to say, I don't know. Let me be slow to speak on this one because I'm going to tell y'all, these people know. They claim they come to you speaking smooth words with war in their heart. They know what the hell going on, okay? They know, so when they be like, well, why you deserve reparations? When they ask that question, they already know the answer to it. They already know what's up. When they say, well, we gave y'all programs, we gave you this, but you didn't give it specifically to us. Everything that was given program-wise across the United States, everybody benefit from, not just Black Americans. So explaining anything to them, it's like beating a dead horse, pretty much. It's like, why even waste your time? For me, brother, your energy should be proven to Black Americans that they should be looking for an inheritance. Your energy should be put towards your people, recruiting your people. The more of us that know, because there's a lot of us that don't even know, rather than trying to smooth over some hillbilly. It's just not going to work. They never wanted us to have anything. That's just my stance on it. And like Newstoter said, I mean, these people came from walking on all fours. Don't let the suit fool you. They are the same people. They slick, sly, and cunning. If you can find that description in the Bible, it tells you who these people are. And we gonna get what's ours. It is written. All right? Now, a lot of us ain't gonna make it. But I'm going to be one of those that's willing to have hallelujah in my mouth and a sword in my hand. Come time for that. A lot of us ain't going to make it because we trying to, but you know we deserve it now, don't you see now, boss? Now we done put in 400 years for your boss. Man, miss me. You owe me. Period. Like, stop trying to, like, F them, bruh. I don't like to curse on here, but god damn, we spend so much time trying to change their mind. Now, what we need to be doing is trying to recruit more Negroes. And I'm a land there.
Do y'all really think that if Ukraine was a black nation and Russia jumped on it the way they did Ukraine, that the U.S. would be giving this kind of money out to it? No. The U.S. would act like they didn't even see what happened. They would say that it wasn't their business. They couldn't intercede. It would mess up trade relations and all this other garbage. That they would come up with an excuse. But the fact Ukraine is another neo-Nazi type national state, they want to get more of them over here as much as they can to dilute, like you say, the black population. They're willing to go fist over dollar to supply them. Joe Biden is the same pecker that sat up here talking about he couldn't see himself giving black people reparations unless Indians was included. All kind of stupid stuff. Like Indians, he done signed more treaties and more bills and everything for Native Americans than any other president probably has. I ain't never once heard him say, you know what? Native Americans, it's unfair to give y'all all this and that and not include black people in it. What about the black people that was part of all of these 5 nations and stuff, the 5 civilized nations that hadn't seen a dime of it that was enslaved by Native Americans? I ain't heard them never address that one time. Where they money at? Where they reparations? Why he ain't talking about that? But anytime it comes to a black person, in the same way he had to scold his Negro children and the black caucus and told them like, well, Hispanics are becoming the largest population. Y'all gonna have to get with them and this and that. This man has so much vitriol to black people. And you're gonna have a bunch of older black women sit up here again, and bunch of older black men sit up here, and a bunch of left-leaning black people sit up here and act like everything that this man did with his anti-vitriol towards black people doesn't matter, and they're gonna go right out here in 2024 and cast votes for this dude here. Being magpies. Bless you up. Hold on. No, John.
Before Brother Toda go, Okay, I got you. I want to build on what Brother Toda just said too, to make some clarifications about Ukraine. I was thinking the other night, and I always get those. I call them my ancestors' voices, where they kind of break down history that we weren't really taught in school. And so one of the things that came to me was that if you remember everything that's happened to the Jewish people over there, a thing called the final solution or the final answer for their problem. I think everybody should be understanding that when they did an Operation Paperclip, they did a mass income or mass deposit of all of the Nazi people, and so many times they got our eyes fixated on the doctors and all of the upper people they brought, but we forget the lower level people who are now police officers, who are now police chiefs, who are now FBI generals and directors, who are generals at the Pentagon, who are head of water systems, and all of these different things, because fluoride is directly correlated with what was going on over in Nazi Germany. We never had fluoride in our water system. Chlorine, yes, but fluoride, no. Fluoride is a purpose to mix with your polarities in your body, so that way you're less electroactive. Your propensity is to be more docile and submissive than it is to be responsive and more natural. So that came with the inventory of Operation Paperclip, right? And so we see a lot of these things that's happening in the streets, police tactics going back over to Israel, being taught with codes and different tactics like that, again, to be brought back here. So now we see that fulfillment in Ukraine with a Jewish president, and we see the fulfillment of it with a whole Nazi brigade, something even Hitler couldn't even imagine. But now imagine Hitler getting first class or first grade weaponry, not just the weaponry that we have on our streets, but they're getting drones that can drop bombs. That is like they call them kamikazes. Like these people are getting flooded with our tax dollars, and in order to be able to use these weapons overseas to come back home and use them. See, just like they learned those things in Nazis, what they did to Jewish people, they have the same intent to do it to us, but they know their numbers are down. So the 100,000 people they're flying in here, you see the women, you see the children, you see the sad faces, but you don't see the planes that land at the military bases. You don't see the school buses that's getting shipped to old military bases that are being used in certain towns where they're training, right? They're training in schools. They're training in regular rural areas in our communities that don't resemble any battlefield outside of this country. Because in their minds, they're saying before they pay us reparations, they'll pay us like the same guy at Buffalo. And we need to definitely see what we're speaking about today with the Ukraine situation and look at the manifestation that Operation Paperclip did then, and imagine what Operation Paperclip 2.0 could do if we do nothing. We cannot afford to sit idle by, because they're flying in literal neo-Nazi, anti-Black American Negro, hating, ready to die, kill for their cause towards us. And it is very imperative that we absorb that knowledge, we process that, and we make the proper adjustments about that.
Damn right. I agree with 100% of what you just said there too, Ari. I'm going to get ready. Like I said, I'm blessed. I'm going to let you get in there, but we got a couple new speakers, and I want to let everybody get a chance to actually get a chance to say something. So I'm going to go John Horse, then I'm going to go Black Native, and then I'm going to go back to you, Bless. Also, if you guys can, please make sure you support Newstoter on Cash App. That's $Cash App. If you got just $1, we don't care. We not picky. If you want to contribute to New Black Media, that's $Newstoter. That is $Newstoter. If you have a PayPal or Venmo account, that is also in the Jumbotron. So go ahead, John Horse, and go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yo, yeah, hey everybody. Yeah, this is a good conversation. I just kind of wanted to piggyback off of the whole, we'll probably have a civil war if they try to pass reparations. Just understand, yeah, it's gonna come down to a fight. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's nothing to be afraid of. Just understand this too. The white supremacists, we could have had a civil war back in 2020. I want you to pay attention. Understand, you need to. It's just like, what boxers do. Boxers study the tapes of their opponents. When you go back and you study 2020 really, really, really scared white society. That was nothing. They did not take. They took that really, really serious. That scared them. I know for a fact. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about everybody else, but I know during 2020, people, were especially really nice to me. They weren't as, rude or anything like that. People really, from the dominant society were really, really on eggshells. They was walking on eggshells anytime you came into contact with one. Reason being is because the military, if the military ever gets busy, it's just you, them, space, and opportunity. The military is the thing that upholds white supremacy. If the military, disappears, white supremacy, that's it. There is none. So, and then also too, you have to study, understand the main reason why a lot of this is happening is why, because of genetic survival. So they want to survive. They really don't want to go to war. Deep down, they want to, but then they don't want to. So it's just, I've been really just studying and just, really keeping game and understanding that, I saw a difference in us because we was actually pulling up. We was going, people weren't really turning up in LA like that. They went to Beverly Hills. They went to their spots. This is totally different than the LA riots before. So this whole situation about, I want everybody to look at white supremacy like high school. We're dealing with a bully. And the only way that you deal with a bully is you got to get on his level. You got to speak the language that they understand. You can't go up to a bully trying to hug the bully. He don't understand that. But if you punch the bully in his jaw, or if you elbow him real good, you kick him, you stomp him out, all of a sudden you're gonna realize, oh, okay, hey, I don't really like the way that feels. That hurts. And then you're gonna realize everybody else that jumps in to bully you, they're gonna have to turn on the bully themselves, i.e. the immigrants. Because what white supremacy is going to do, when they can't attack us, they're going to try to turn on them. That's what's going to happen. So they're going to have no other choice but to go in on white supremacy. And I'll land there.
No doubt. Thank you, brother. Thank you for your opinions. Thank you just for coming into the space and sharing your thoughts. Definitely appreciate it. I want to thank Yahweh Ben Yahweh for the contribution on Cash App. Thank you, brother. Thank you. We got our Israelite brothers up in the spot too. So peace to these brothers. They do a lot of they get a lot of flack from mainstream America for being a hate group and this and that or whatever. But these brothers take and they rehabilitate brothers and whatnot. And hey, if you can rehabilitate a man and whatnot, and you can show him a positive light, more power to you. Black Native, go ahead and unmute your mic.
I want to say shalom or shalom. Got another Israelite in here to the family. I just actually looked at that video with Hunter Biden and the weighing of the crack rocks. Is he going to jail for that, or what's going to go down with that? Is that an old?
Yeah.
I also saw him laying up smoking a pipe.
Well, let's remember too now, his daddy, his pappy is the president of the United States. We haven't seen a president, child, or close family member actually go to prison.
We haven't seen it, but I mean, right? I mean, have you really ever seen an actual video where you saw their face in the video doing something? Because last time I checked, smoking crack is legal. I don't know. I don't remember them making crack legal at any point in time. So, I mean, it is him.
Now, wasn't this the same one who Daddy came up with the little crack pipe thing also? Remember the Daddy came up, Joe Biden came up with the whole crack pipe marketing thing, talking about you can smoke your crack here and this and that, and have safe havens to smoke your crack and this and that. So remember who his pappy is too. Remember how white supremacy works. So
One thing I can say too to that though, what Sister Black Native is saying, white supremacy can do all it want. I ain't never seen white supremacy get caught with weighing up 20.4 grams of crack cocaine. That's a whole different ballpark.
Right. I had the amount up there, and because I didn't really know. I heard, but I had just while y'all was talking, I was looking at the video on YouTube, and did his father, who created that, what was the 1994 crime bill and the 3 strikes, where you still got brothers and sisters still in jail right now just for weed. And then they turn around. This is how wicked they made weed legal. But I don't ever remember crack. I mean, I want to know. I'm just saying, I know nothing from what we saw. But I want to know how they going to sugarcoat this up. And how they going to try to blow it, sweep it under the rug when we clearly know that's his son with a crack pipe to his mouth and a whole bunch of crack on a scale with a prostitute.
They're just going north.
Well, the first thing they're gonna try to say is that the video or whatever was doctored, so that's gonna be one of the first things that's gonna come out their mouth, that's not authentic, that video was doctored, that's not completely true, this and that. So
right about that, because I'm seeing that the video of Hunter Biden, they already started it, that it's not real, that it was docked, it was edited, and he wanted people to see that. I don't know how it leaked or whatever, or if he leaked it, who knows? But he filmed himself doing these things, so apparently he wanted it to get out. Maybe he's beefing with his father. He wants to disgrace him. Who knows? But yeah, that's all I had to say about that, because ain't nothing they could say at this. I mean, they've been shady and shisty, but right now, like that shit right there, nah. You talking about giving free crack pipes? Your whole family is corrupt. Well, I mean, damn. And the sister up in here put up a post where Biden was tonguing his own daughter down. I'm like, what's going on with this family? Like, this is who's running our country, and trying to sit up and act like they got some type of prestige about themselves. Low class, low budget people.
His own daughter?
Yeah, she got pictures up there. Where's the sister at? She in the room?
Oh yeah, bro.
It's pictures because I was like, what?
Come on, man. I know this guy. I know this guy is crazy and everything, but I mean, come on, man. His own daughter, man.
His daughter. And she was saying
Tyler, check your DM. Hey, Tyler, check your DM real quick, bro. Check your DM, bro.
Yeah, let me do that.
Yeah, the daughter was saying how she get turned on when she hear her mother and father having sex.
You know I'm on it, Tyler. You know, I'm the meme guy, yo. You know what I'm saying? I got the most memes ever, yo. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, it's the sister up in here. Enough is enough. She put the pictures up because we was just in another space. And I was like, what are you talking about? And she put those pictures right up there. And pictures with Joe Biden in the shower where it looks like an underage child naked, both of them. I just don't understand how allegedly. I'm sorry, allegedly.
I did see that photo early, and that was one of the ones who they was talking about was doctored too. I did see that photo earlier, and people talk about, well, it looks like Joe Biden, but he gained 30 pounds and this and that. That was all over Twitter. So enough props to you, but like, yeah, They already trying to put a spin on that. And don't think for a second too, like, I mean, let's say that Hunter Biden did get charged or something. What do you think they're gonna do except put him in rehab, put him in some kind of country club type rehab or whatever, give kind of misdemeanor talk about he's been battling demons and he's been having issues with drugs and this and that, and that's the only thing they would ever do to him because he is the president's son. They're not gonna put no sitting president's son in prison unless he just cold, like he just went ahead and murdered somebody in public eye. That's about the only way. This dude can smoke as much. He can smoke crack, meth, and everything else, and they're not gonna do nothing. And also, we gotta think about the people we talking about. Jeffrey Epstein had all kind of dirt on the Clintons, the Trumps, people in Hollywood, and this and that, and yet he mysteriously dies in prison.
Allegedly.
Yeah, allegedly my
we
ass.
We ain't never seen the body, so
Yeah.
allegedly.
So
yeah, I definitely understand what you're saying. I'm just speaking about the hypocrisy of it all. The way they, try to use black people as the face of crack. His son been smoking crack for a very long time. You could see it. He looked like he tweaking. Yeah, he been smoking crack since the same time his father was throwing all these black people in jail for crack and weed charges. His son was smoking the pipe that whole damn time, and it's just the hypocrisy of it all. And that's like Babylon has the fall, and with the Ukraine situation. Remember when Joe Biden was running and Trump kept trying to bring up the Ukraine situation, and they kept he was trying to tell us then, they doing business with the son is doing business with Ukraine. Why are you over here getting $50 million a year from Ukraine? What y'all got going on over here? This was when during the when they were running, what was it, the primaries or whatever. So he was saying this back then. So yeah, I'm just gonna land my plane on that. Thanks for allowing me to speak.
No problem. We definitely appreciated you chiming in, and hey, I'm with you. I mean, if this was your child, my child, anybody's child in this space, and he got caught with that, he about to do 10 years. Like, ain't no ifs, ands, and buts about that. They don't care about what kind of drug problem you got. They don't care about your background. They don't care about any of that. You finna do some hard time. First, they're gonna try to say that you had that with the intent to sell. So they're gonna attack on as much time as possible to you. So you're right. I agree with you. How they gonna spin this? The spinning cycle has already been put in place right now. That's why, like Ari was saying, they're trying to go ahead and they're trying to cleanse Twitter. They're trying to get rid of that as much as possible. Y'all be careful sharing that too, man, because I got a feeling that they're trying to purge Twitter and they're trying to purge that those actual photos and everything. So y'all be really careful sharing that information because they're already out here. We already know that we've been shadow banned. So everybody in this space, this is being recorded. We're being looked at. Y'all be really careful about that. Just letting you know for the families aspect, be careful sharing that stuff because I have a feeling that, like I said, that they're trying to do a purge right now on Twitter, on social media in general, and they do not appreciate that photo going around. You're talking about some powerful people here that don't mind flexing their power. So everybody be very, very careful about that. And I also want to thank my man Keith for his contribution on Cash App. Thank you, Keith.
Hey, Totter, and I want to say this really quick. The person that put that stuff out that was on 4chan, allegedly he's getting pressed from the Democratic Party.
Damn right. That's what I'm saying. Damn right. Of course he is. You talking about a sitting president, and you think the Democrats gonna take this sitting down here? This thing went down there viral here. So they got to go ahead and say, well, yeah, this was just doctor. This was just a bad joke. This person is just crazy as hell and this and that. Yeah. I mean, what please, you talking about the Democrats is $1 trillion operation, man. Both the Republicans and Democrats are $1 trillion operation, not billion, $1 trillion operations in this country. Yeah, they're not going to sit up here and let you allegedly smear the president's son without a fight on your hands. So that's why I'm telling all my people in this space, y'all be careful sharing that. You know what I'm saying? Because the eyeballs are definitely on you. You black already. You're on these white-owned platforms, and I'm sure this is a white boy that put this out here. And don't think that they won't make an example out of a white boy too as well. So if they'll make an example out of a white boy, what they would do to a Negro. We got Christian, we got Bless. I'm gonna let you go last because we got two other new speakers. We got Christian. Christian, go ahead and unmute your mic.
They keep coming. The new speakers keep coming. I ain't never gonna get to talk.
I promise I won't be extra long, all right? But I just want to say peace to the room and peace to Newstoter. And a big up to the great sister asking all the right questions about Hunter Biden. Really appreciate it. It's a wonderful combo, and we all got something to learn when we're looking at this. I think the bottom line, what it comes down to, just like they'll attack that white boy and put him on display, and and they're not going to just give it because it's the right thing to do or because it's the truth. They're not going to do that. It's a $1 trillion operation. They ain't giving them a goddamn thing without a fight. Same thing goes for our reparations. Understand that first and foremost. It don't matter about what's right. It don't matter about no lawyers or none of that. None of that. They'll hype all these white boys up to go straight gung-ho at each and every one of us. Yes, they will. Not just them, but the Mexicans, the Mad Dogs too. They don't give a damn. They get all of them to come after us with their hyped up media and all their lies. Something that's very important to remember is that never forget that for years, for 2-3 years straight, they told us that Hunter Biden laptop was all a conspiracy and it was Russian disinformation. And every last news organization, all the legacy media, they was all on board with it, saying it's a bunch of lies, a bunch of bots, and it's conspiracy. That's what they did. They was all on board with it. Now we see it's true. Ain't nobody got no retractions. Ain't nobody pointing the finger saying y'all a bunch of liars. Look at y'all. Nobody's going to hold their feet to the fire for lying this entire time to the American public and to the world, really. And then the BBC was on board with it too. Everybody was saying it. Understand that. So it's a very controlled media apparatus that we have, which is why spaces like this is so very important. Independent media matters in a major way. By all means, donate and support. So they was just lying the whole time, telling us that the old Hunter Biden laptop thing was fake, and we see right now that it's absolutely true. But understand something, even though Joe Biden was very bold about locking black people up for crack and not cocaine. He was very, very bold about it. And I'm going to stop using those words, by the way. He was very bold about that and how he don't give a damn about how they got here and what the reason is. We got to get them off the streets and away from my mama and my daughter. He used those kind of terms like that and made villains out of black people in particular and brown people too. He made absolute villains out of them and locked predominantly us black folks up for that, but he's not going to do the same thing for his son. And when they start spinning it and letting you know that there is a different approach to it, and he has evolved on the issue because he giving out crack pipes now, which they said was a lie. Damn, excuse that word. He giving out those pipes now, which they said was a lie. He wasn't doing it. Now we found out that was true. He was, in fact, doing it. So they'll just say, he been giving out those pipes the whole time. It's about compassion now. It's not about locking folks up no more. So therefore, there's no need in locking up Hunter Biden. We've evolved on the issue is with how they'll spin that. So it'll never be anything. You and I would have got distribution with intent to sell. That's what they would have gave us, but they're not going to do none of that for him. And even if they did somehow miraculously lock this man up, somehow, some way, then just like she said in the first place with the allegedly, we'll never see the face. We never saw the face of Epstein. We don't know what really happened. The camera that's facing his cell is off. The camera that's facing the hallway is off miraculously. The guards are supposedly asleep. We'll never know. We never really know what happened. We don't know what happened with Bin Laden. It's all a big, gigantic bag of lies. And I hear a lot of background noise. I'm going to stop right there and land my plane. Thank you very much and salute.
No doubt, brother, and I definitely agree with you. Let me give props to the two people that's responsible for putting on this room tonight, this space. A girl enough, she DM'd me and she was like, yeah, we got to talk about this tonight. And my boy Irie, he was like, look, you holding the space, let me know on this. I'm gonna come through or whatnot. So these two, I had another space in mind, but when when this came out about the Ukraine and the $1 billion and all this stuff with Hunter Biden and this and that, I'm like, look, yeah, we need to go ahead and hold this space tonight. So shout out to Enough, shout out to Irie, you know what I'm saying, for putting it in my ear, whatever, so we can go ahead and get up and we can have a nice conversation tonight. Another great space that we have tonight. May not be as big as the space last night, but the conversation is still great. So definitely thank you to both of you guys for putting this in my ear, because we definitely want to do that. I'm gonna let Bless go ahead, and then I'm gonna get to you, Elmira. So Bless, go ahead, unmute your mic.
Yo, can I tell you one thing before Bless go? What's up, Mr.? I'm sorry, Bless. I'm gonna be very quick. One thing you guys should know when it comes to reparations, by the way, and all the things that you were saying earlier, is I listened to a few videos with Captain Zariak talking against a KKK man, Captain Zariak against Ramsey Paul, Captain Zariak against the Jewish Zionists and whatnot, and other spaces that I've listened to as well. And these white folks believe that there has been so much done in favor of black people. Like, oh my God, it's incredible how the nation and we have bent over backwards for these black folks. This is where they are now in their thinking. I want you to understand that. So when you're talking about the civil unrest to follow, guaranteed. Just understand that their mindset is that we've already gotten way more than what we deserve, and it's at their expense in their current state right now. Go ahead, Bless. I'm sorry.
No, that's perfect, because probably I forgot about that part. My phone is gonna die, so you know. But give me a minute, I'll come back later and finish. But yeah, that's absolutely a fact. I know from these conversations. So again, you can debunk everything they say and make it undeniable, but en masse, the education is just not there. And I gotta remind y'all, the reason it started was because Brother Ray said that they need to go and do it, and it'll be a nation unifier. That was why I brought this up. I know that we got to do what we got to do, whether that be whatever, this recorded space. So I'm gonna start reparations. Please believe that, National Reparations League. But the thing is, we just gotta understand that CRT shit or some type of mass education is critical for people to get on board. Not just white Americans, crackers, Asians, Mexicans, even black Americans who are bootstrappers, who don't understand the depth of why we're old and how the wealth has been stalled from us, the Freedmen's Bureau and these other acts and handouts. I'm telling you, it's so much. And so I get what y'all saying. They know the basics. That's one thing. My other point is that the education for everyone needs to happen. And I hate to say it too, but enough is right. We do need allies, because it's only 40 million of us. And that's fucked up, because everyone is an immigrant but us. So, and these immigrants believe in the bootstrapper theory to death. So my phone's going to die. I had some more to say, but I'll wait until I go charge it and come back, because I know I'm long-winded. Go ahead, Elmira. Thank you.
Elmira, before I let you get to it, I'm gonna say this one thing, and this was taken from the great historian, black historian, Dr. John Henry Clark, when he said, "We have no allies in this world. There's nobody in this world that's our ally that we can depend on. As much as we've done for this country and for immigrants who have migrated here, and the fact that so many of them are against us, we have no ally." Now, when he said that, he meant for the entire black race. He meant for the entire black race, that there are no allies. He didn't mean just black Americans, Jamaicans. He meant the entire black race. You cannot expect any, especially no non-black immigrant to come here, because these people, these same Asians, are the ones that sit up here and cry about not being able to get into these Ivy League schools because of affirmative action. You got these same Hispanics, when they talk about doing reparations, that they should be included just as much as black people. You got a bunch of delusional people in this country who will sit here and tell you that they have contributed to the success of America just as much as black people. These people in their native countries in Latin America had all kind of slaves and everything else there, had all kind of negative names for black people in these countries. So these people, and these Asians as well, these Asians treat black people like dirt. You see over there in Africa, you got damn Chinese, how they act. You see when the Africans was over there, when the damn coronavirus first broke out, how they was over there beating the hell out of Africans and this and that. You have no allies in this world. So I don't expect any, especially no non-black immigrant, to come here and have our back. And for the black immigrants that come here, we have to be able to vet those, and there are some that are definitely worthy of being allies to us. Those we need to keep as allies, and those that we can't keep as allies, we don't need to worry about. So That's my view. And that goes with the black people born in this country too. Because we got a bunch of boule Negroes in this country that'll sit up here and they see all of the stuff that we go through and they ignore it and they don't care and they talk about political parties and all this other nonsense. So we don't have even allies within our own people. So I'm not expecting any especially no non-black immigrant to come here and be an ally when for the last 50, 60 years, they've had all kind of vitriol to the black race. So no, we don't have any allies, my friend. We better go ahead and start depending on ourselves because that's the only people that we can depend on if we're going to get this thing really cracking. Elmira, go ahead and unmute your mic.
When they mentioned Epstein, he was the J people. So Israel, that's probably where he's at. And the systematic religion cult that these people have, back to the Catholic that Biden and his son is, the Vatican, that's what saved him, is the Vatican. And, he's just going to slide on through life. And Epstein is probably in Israel because, as we know, didn't anybody see the body? None of that. And Israel means to dog, and they are all in collision with. They all cooperate together. It's about religion, and they want to dominate as they enforce the false teachings onto us from the day of our birth with our birth certificates. And that's the way they follow us. And we're the only captives here.
No doubt. I appreciate that. So you're saying in your personal opinion, you believe that Jeffrey Epstein is still alive?
In Israel. Same as in the movie The Godfather. What did they do when they got in trouble, the higher ups in the mafia? They sent them to Sicily. It's all a big game over here, and we're their puppets. They know we have the day to contend with, keeping the lights on, and though that's coming to an end. And back to the Buffalo situation, the mind of black people, we come up with stuff to alleviate them, and they do everything to stay totally in control.
No doubt. I definitely value your thoughts and you sharing your opinion with the space tonight. So stick around, and if you want to further comment, just raise your hand. Christian, I see you have your hand back up.
Yeah, man, you coming? I'm over here munching right now, though. I want to give me 2 seconds.
Okay, no problem. Anybody else wants to? Ray, I know you had your hand up earlier. I don't know if
I'm trying to get back to my charge. Give me a second.
Okay. All right, let me go ahead. Let me hit that right now. I'm a great cook, man, so I'll be really getting it in over here, bro. I promise you. Trust and believe. That's why I'm married to the most beautiful woman in the goddamn world. I cook very well. You know what I'm saying? Our culture is second to none when it comes to this kitchen game. Understand that. Kiss the cook. You know what I'm talking about? But check this out, though. That 40 million number, when it comes to our population numbers, let me hit that real fast. I'm not going to tell you that we are greater than that number or that our population has been held back. I'm not going to talk about abortion and add that in there. None of those things. What I do want to point out, though, is 2 things in particular. Number one, Great Britain is a very small island, essentially. It's a small little island, and look at what they've done with just that small amount. Look at the small hats that you just mentioned a second ago with Epstein and those people. Those small hats are a small amount of people, and yet they use the art of manipulation. I don't think that man stands for human. I think it stands for manipulator. These people understand the art of manipulation, and they know how to rule as a minority. And so that 40 million number, second thing we need to understand is that I've never been to prison, but it is my understanding that even when we have the smaller numbers, the rest of the races, because it's very segregated, they know not to mess with us because we the dogs. We get down on that ass every single time. Now, I've never been to prison, but I have been jumped on at the LA Coliseum and the LA Forum, at the Great Fair, LA County Fair. Not to mention in high school, we have racial wars all the time, and we're outnumbered. We're outnumbered, but we still put in that work every single time. It's not about the numbers necessarily. It's about how many of that 300 that you really got on code, and the tactics that you use, and the code that you're going to follow. So as long as we able to mobilize and organize, we can win pretty much all of our battles over and over again. We really just have to organize and be more cunning and have more heart than our foes. And they're not together. They're not on one accord. Look at the Hispanics. They're not on one accord. Ain't no monolith over there. When it comes to these white boys, they ain't not no monolith either. They fighting each other, shooting each other. You got these dudes up in Michigan killing the Gretchen Whitmer and all that. Come on, they not on no one accord. And not only that, but the vast majority of them is cowards. They cowards. They not gonna stand up. They will not fight, especially once you knock out that big one. Once you knock a couple of them out and show them what's really good, they don't have it. They don't got what it takes. They ain't been in the trenches. It ain't like you ain't got some riders over there. I love me some good white people, some really, really good mixed race and good white boys, white men, white women. These are some very, very good people. But the great propensity that they have for goodness is the great propensity that they have for evil. Understand that. So, and even deeper, really, immorality knows no depths. Ain't no floor to it. Understand that. But I'm going to land right there. But understand that our lesser numbers supposedly really is not to our detriment. It is, in fact, to our benefit. Understand that. We have no friends.
No doubt. Thank you.
All fact.
Miracle, I saw you had your hand up, and then I'm going to let Black Native go.
Oh, yeah. I was just wanting to say that I don't know what's going on in the world with the how we're going to do it as Black people. I think that we need to just quit tripping, and we need to start over, and make sure that we educate ourselves properly, because there's a lot of things going on in the world. Like, for example, not to get off the subject, I know we've been talking about Ukraine, but guess what happened over the weekend? Another assassination with that Japanese guy, that Shinzo AB guy. You know what I'm trying to say? And he got shot. Yeah, and he got killed. And I'm wondering, like, why are these things going on in the world where let's just start all over, and we could just, do better, and we could have, like one of the ladies was talking about earlier, like we could have more oil because, the gas companies run the prices and just whatever, and we could just, change humanity and economics and politics and things like that. I don't know.
No doubt. Black Native, go ahead and unmute your mic.
Yeah, I just wanted to piggyback off of what was the brother that spoke before the last brother, and he was saying that
Christian Ham, baby.
All right, man. Okay. He was saying that our enemy knows no depths. And when he said that, it brought to mind when old Roly Poly Martin was having an interview with the white supremacist at the time. He says he's now a changed man because he got kicked out of the groups that he was in. Anyway, Richard Spencer. And when he was interviewing him, Richard Spencer said that it's not about fairness. They don't care about being fair and fighting fair. It's about winning. And when he said, like, we don't care about none of that. We just want to win. We don't have we're not coming from no kind of moral standing, none of that. That's all they want. They want to win. And that's what they were speaking about, races, different races. It's a race. And, they want to keep their power because their numbers are dwindling. And it's like it's a fight for survival. And if you read Dr. Frances Cress Welsing's book, The ISIS Papers, she spoke about that back in the 70s. White annihilation, and they're going to fight because they're trying to stay on this planet. So they will go to they have no limit to what they'll do when you're in a survival mode. If you have a rat in the corner and you poking that rat, he coming out fighting and scratching and biting. He not trying to, bargain with you or reason with you. And that's what we are as a people. We are very I'm gonna say peaceful. We don't want trouble, but if you make us and you get us at a point, we are force, and they know that. They know that we're a force, and can't nobody really fuck with us if we are together. So that's why they create all these different little things to keep us apart from each other, and keep us fighting, in-house fighting. But we coming together now. We coming on one accord. We coming for our reparations, and that's that issue. They see like, oh my God, they're finally waking up. They're finally seeing that we've been bullshitting and playing with them all these years, and they ain't going for it no more. We're not trying to hear none of that stuff no more. We want our money and our land and whatever else you plan on, whatever else you owe us. We want all of that, and they see that we're not backing down this time. So yeah, they're gonna come up with a whole bunch of stuff, but we just gotta stay strong and stand our ground. And that's all I have to say about it.
Thank you, sister. We appreciate it. Bless, go ahead. I'm gonna go to Bless, and I'm gonna go to Elmira. Go ahead, Bless.
Thank you, family. Man, I just love songs. We can really cook it up in these, and everybody's. I love it, y'all. Peace and reparations, but it's very crazy to me how this man had 20.4 grams of crack. That is intent to distribute. This isn't just possession. That if that was a black person, if you have more than a 3.5 of crack, they give you intent because you can't smoke that much crack in a day. So we know. So they always say, okay, you were selling this. So he needs that. I don't think it's gonna happen, but we gotta try to push for the shit because it's really a slap in the face to Black Americans and what we've been through dealing with crack after they put it in our own damn communities, right? So I mean, this is it really pisses me off. Like after knowing what we've been through and me dealing with crack in my family, and it's a slap in the face, and we gotta let them know we mad and we see it. One other part was they are scrubbing it. They're scrubbing it already. So I don't know if they're gonna try to say it's not true, but because they're trying to get the shit off completely, because the masses don't know about this yet. But we gotta stop sharing these videos, download these shits on our phones and pictures and stuff. Don't just retweet them and stuff. Download it, screen record it, because they are gonna take all this shit off, and we need this ammo to tell our people who are still woke, our family and friends who are still 100% Democrat blue, no matter who. Our family who doesn't know about reparation, our family who thinks immigration doesn't hurt Black people. We have to continue because we do need everybody, or at least 10 million of us. Shit, we don't need everybody. We just need to quit. So yeah, I'll take that back. 5-10 million for sure. It's about 1 million people in the movement right now. So we just got to educate our people first and foremost, because there's a lot of Black folks still gonna vote, who still will fight for Joe Biden, who still will cape for Democrats, and who still don't understand that Democrats just use us to bring more immigrants and to push gay agendas, etc. So this is very serious. I just want everyone to understand we gotta take these conversations off of this app. Your people, your family and friends are gonna push back. If they push back too much, keep it moving. We can't take everybody. We gotta leave some behind. But just try, because we need the soldiers. We need to rally up our troops, because this is the last hurrah. It is only 40 million of us and 60 million Mexicans. So our vote is not going to be as strong after this next election. This is our last chance to do this shit for tangibles. Otherwise, we might as well go ahead and fast forward to the Civil War at this point, allegedly. So I'm just like, I want people to be real clear of where we stand as a lineage in this country. If we're talking about the voting route and weaponization of our votes, and because the numbers are not looking good. That's why the Democrats are doing everything they can to bring immigrant groups from all over the world in this country. I mean, at a rapid rate. They've revved it up. They even giving them money. You know, he's disrespectful for that Indian thing. The Indians have been given reparations so many times. It's ridiculous. So I don't even know why he would even say something so disrespectful to us. Talking about I can't do it unless they agree, unless the Indians are included. One other piece, Israel. Another, and this always shuts them white folks up too when they say, "Well, where's the money gonna come from? How much?" When I'm in those debates with them, it's basically just Israel has been getting billions of dollars in aid every year, but y'all not complaining about that, you know. And then we are mad about. I ain't heard it. Y'all just get mad when we say reparations. We get it. Our country give everybody money but us, but Americans, and y'all crackers get mad just because we talking about us getting our money when Israel and all these other countries are getting billions of dollars a year annually. So it shuts them up real quick. The money is there. Don't let them fool you. And even if it wasn't modern monetary theory, it just states that they print our money anyway. So fuck them. Peace and reparations, family.
No doubt, no doubt. Thank you. We're gonna be shortening the comments a little bit because we're going to be closing up here soon. So I know my man DJ, he normally does a late night Twitter space. So I want to invite everybody that's in this space here tonight. Check my man DJ Kid Productions. Check it out tonight. They go ahead and they go early into the morning. It is right now probably the premier late night Twitter space, AM space. So make sure you check my man out. Like I said, we're going to shorten it, let everybody get in there. One more comment. Right now we got Omar, we got Demi, and we got Christian. So those will probably be our last three speakers of the night, besides DJ, Irie, and myself. Once again, if you guys, anybody that's in the space, make sure you're following us on Twitter. Go ahead. We're the largest curator of Black news today in America, bar none. We are the biggest news aggregator, Black-owned news aggregator in America today. So make sure you guys support us. Support us on Cash App if you can. That's $Newstoter. That is $News. Once again, $Newstoter. Support us on PayPal or Venmo. The PayPal Venmo account link is also in the jumbotron. So $Newstoter. Omara, go ahead. Like I said, we're gonna make it maybe about a minute. So go ahead and get your comment in.
What destroyed this country was the juvenile delinquents. And of course, we know who was the majority of those. That was in the 1930s. And they started their own slang and the way they wore clothes and due poverty. Our people, of course, they were out on the streets, the majority, because when they started the migration over here in the 30s, we were displaced. Our families, I've heard stories, even in Cleveland, Ohio, where I'm from, that our families were put out so that these Slovenians and Germans and Polish people could come over here. So it's always been their mission to destroy, where they didn't want us to have families. And I just need to say, watch your children, because my grandson used my cell phone like 2 years ago, and he had like all these phone numbers on there. So I woke up the other morning and I knew that area code. And so when I looked at it, there was two young men performing sex act. And so I told my son and my grandson's mother, and it's just the agenda to destroy our babies. I mean, this child is 12 years old, and the guy, anyway, he was probably 15, and my grandson told me that some of them was trying to get him to turn, one of them liked him or something. So yeah, we have to watch our children, because all this about pleasure, sex, and then when we see this in the underground media, I'm sure they've seen it. I'm sure our children have seen Biden with young 12-year-old body looking black girl, what's out here today. So it's very frightening. Yeah, we have to get away from these people. The media, their media run venues are just destroying our future. I'll land my plane. Thank you.
Thank you, sister, and thank you for your contribution to the space tonight. Make sure that you I know you follow Newstoter, so make sure that you continue to support our spaces, continue to support our reaching the new black media. Definitely appreciate you having you in the space tonight.
And great work. I've seen your articles tonight, and I will be contributing. I just have to turn over to probably go to Venmo. Because my grandson, he messed me up with Cash App. Okay, thank you.
No problem, man. We definitely appreciate it. Anything, like I said, anything anybody can get, that's all. We don't ask so much. If you got $1 that you want to contribute, we're more than happy to take that. We're not trying to break the bank here. Any contribution is greatly appreciated. We got my girl Demi up next. Demi, go ahead.
Well, I'm glad. I'm not so happy you guys are in this space so soon because this is such a good conversation. I'm taking notes and all of that good stuff. But I just wanted to add, these people who's running the country. I'm watching these clips of Biden saying, when y'all say, here comes the president, I'm looking around like, who is he? He just did this today. It's like this man, I don't know what else to say, y'all. Like, seriously, like, I feel like we got to stand up now because I feel like if we don't, we're going to miss a good opportunity to do so. Like the other brother just said, it's going to slip through our hands, the opportunity to, because it's like they weak right now or something. It seems like. I'm not laughing at it. I mean, I am, but I'm not. And it's a perfect timing for us to gather together and just shake them down, and I'll land in.
Thank you, sister. And now DJ gonna have a space tonight, so you might as well go ahead and go to that space too. I'm gonna go over there for a minute too. I got to get up early like my man Ray, but I'm gonna go through and support my dog. So make sure I know you and Enough gonna be in the space tonight. So y'all make sure, like I say, the party don't stop there. From Newstoter to Kid Productions, we keep it going and whatnot. So y'all make sure that kid is also the new black as well too. He does it. He gives you a thoroughness with entertainment and tech and everything else that you just rarely get in some of these spaces here. So you got to make sure you support my man here. Make sure you support this brother, please. Christian, go ahead, do it in about a minute because, like I say, we got the co-host. They're going to end it, and then, of course, the host is going to go ahead and end it too. And like I say, everybody that can in the space, if you got $1, contribute it on Cash App to $Newstoter, $Newstoter.
Who was that just spoke? That just spoke real quick. I heard the voice. Who was that just spoke?
It was me.
Sister Demi. Sister Demi. Okay, Sister Demi. If I can also add supplemental evidence to that sister's point, I believe also that our ancestors, whom we also sometimes call in the habitation of the Most High, those around him, those that petition him day and night for what has happened to us, for our blood that was slain without compensation. What's happening was like the other night, about 2 weeks ago, all of the planets and shit were like aligned, like everything was aligned beautifully in the sky, like everything was happening. And if you noticed, ever since then, it's been like this flow of just energy flowing towards like the people. Like it's just going back to the people, right? It's going back to the people of that land where they are from, getting all the power and returning to them. And what I wanted to tell you to what you were saying is that it seems like he's talking to people. He looks lost. You got to remember, like he's going crazy like a Nebuchadnezzar was, right? He's being tormented by all of our ancestors, all those children he locked up. Like I know, for instance, my aunt Poopy, who died in Jersey City jail over there, right there in Hudson County detention facility. I know she tormented him because of what he did to my family and continued to have hurt my family for what his son is on video doing right now. My cousin didn't even have that much. But what I want to tell you is to be like this. this is definitely our time, and that's why a lot of times in these spaces, it seems like the conversations are very serious. It seems like a lot of times, we don't really have that much time, and a lot of people feel like, we still got another season, we still got 2 more years. Like family, you don't realize that this is our time now, and it's kind of like we're late to the party because the party was for us in 2020. But what happened was they threw everything at us. That's when our party was supposed to happen. You got to imagine, like, we children of a royal family. So at the end of a 400-year, yes, ma'am, at the end of a 400-year thing, after our slavery, we literally are sitting on top of coronation. We're supposed to have our coronation. We're getting back to royalty, right? We're coming back. We're getting our reparations. They remember our ancestors. But what had happened was that we were usurped. So now in this time, like the brother said too before, it is our time to literally take advantage of this moment and this opportunity and really get on board with this global energy that we're going to be the spearhead to when it's all said and done. And I'll land right there. But thank you, though. That was beautiful, sister. I appreciate those words.
No doubt. Christian, go ahead and
I got you. And for the sake of time, I'm going to make sure I chop it up, unfortunately, because it's actually kind of deep. So I'm going to try. So just please bear with me on this. I want you to understand something, that it's more than one way to skin a cat. And you can't necessarily get every single piece that you may want. Doesn't mean you don't take any of it at all. You have to take it anyway sometimes. If you look at Palestine or Israel, what you notice is a guy named Yasser Arafat, or was it Ehud Barak, whoever it was over there that was in charge at the time of the Palestinian Authority that was over there at the time, and what they offered him as far as a deal in order to get his land back, the Palestinian lands back from Israel, was they gave him 80% of what he was asking for, another 20% that he wasn't getting of what he was asking for. And the Palestinians turned that down, saying no. They said no, because we will take every piece of it. Now they're negotiating with these Israelis in order to get their land back, and they turned down the deal in order at 80% of what they wanted, everything that they wanted. 20% of what they didn't. They turned that deal down, and look at them now. Now they beg for such a deal right now. Beg for it. They were in a position, it was their time, and they didn't take advantage of it. I want to combine that with something in parallel with the reparations movement right now and what Joe Biden said. Joe Biden said he moved from absolute no and all that until the answer is yes, but only if you Black Americans include the reparations package with Indians. Well, look, that I know that's very disrespectful, and it's like, oh, hell no, let's turn it down outright. It can be for us, and I understand that. I get it. But let's not look a gift horse in the mouth. You got to understand, we got to know how to outslick the devil sometimes, all right? Understand something now. Maybe I'm wrong. It's very, very possible, but please hear me on this much right here. There's so many Black Indians out there, just to keep it real short. You have, you know the Narragansett, you know the Pequot Indians, and you know the Waiya tribe. There's so many. So when just to turn such a thing down outright is really quite foolish of us. We have to understand their language and how to play their 3D chess that they've been playing on us for all this time. Learn something from your enemy. Yes, we can include some Indians. Sure, why not? Pequot, some Narragansetts. Yeah, if we're the ones writing the legislation and approving that legislation, we can include some Indians, and we make sure them Indians is Black too, goddamn. You understand what I'm saying to you? Expand on that in your own mind. Understand where I'm really coming from there in its totality. Also understand that there were deals made with the Red Plains Indians, and that included us in such treaties, and then they said yes to those deals, and then they cut us out the deal in the end. So I'm going to land right there, put that into the totality. Understand what I'm trying to tell you right there. Don't look a gift horse in the mouth. We gotta be smarter than that. Use our head for more than just a hat rack. You understand what I'm talking about? Peace.
All right, thank you, brother. Ari, go ahead. I'm gonna let you and then DJ go, and then I'm gonna go ahead and close it out.
For sure, man. It's been a beautiful, beautiful time this evening. I definitely spent the day being a very busy person. Going ahead and talking about Newstoter and then having all that evidence. They just did what they had to do, and it was fun. But I just want to say it was an amazing space. Definitely going to check out my brother Segway. Definitely love all of the news that Newstoter brings and how fast we be able to jump on topics when they come up, because it definitely pertains to us. Like I said, this is our reparations money. Every time I see that thing going out the door, and I just feel like that personal, my feelings hasn't really changed on that. Thank you for holding this space, and to everybody in the space. This is your boy Irie. But you got to check me out on this one. You might think I'm following you or something. If I haven't gotten across to you, just hit me up and I'll try to get back to you. Build it up from the grassroots back organically, but definitely appreciate the moment and having the space and having you join me, my brother. Much love and blessings to you. And brother DJ Sig, I see you over there. You already know what's up, Jersey Connect.
No doubt, brother. And once again, we will be calling on you to come in and co-host again with us as well. Love having you in the spots and stuff. I know you be doing your own spaces and stuff, but when you got a time, when you got some free time or whatever, love having that collaboration with you. Love having you aboard. So definitely, like I said, y'all make sure y'all follow my brother too. He drops knowledge all the time. Very well versed, very intelligent, very articulate. So you make sure that you guys follow Irie. They done hit his account or whatever, but he went ahead and he got another one. So y'all follow this new account here. And like I say, I'll see you over there in the space for a little bit too tonight, Irie. So DJ, you go ahead and then I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up.
For sure, and that big up to my Jersey homie Irie in Chilltown in the building. You already know us County. So with that being said, hey, always remember y'all, we ain't got to deal with what we dealing with. We always got an option. So this is the option right here.
Here meets the President of the United States. Impeachment is basically a trial of any civil official, like a president, without a judge, a jury, or a prosecutor. The judicial branch has nothing to do with it. It all happens on Capitol Hill. It may just be 4 pages long, but the U.S. Constitution spells it out. Starting here, in Article 2, Section 4, with the 3 big impeachable offenses. Treason and bribery are pretty clear-cut, but high crimes and misdemeanors leaves room for argument, which leaves room for politics. It's up to the House of Representatives to accuse the president of one of those offenses. Think of the House like a prosecutor. It's the only body that's got the power to bring charges against the president. And whenever the House can propose charges, all that's needed is a simple majority vote. If it's voted through, the president is impeached. But this doesn't yet mean he's been convicted. For that to happen, it's kicked over to the Senate. Think of the Senate like the judge and jury. They'll hear evidence, and if 2/3 of senators vote to convict, the president is out the door. To be clear, it's actually never happened in the history of U.S. politics. 2 presidents have been impeached, but both were acquitted in the Senate. President Nixon resigned just short of what was all but a guaranteed impeachment. But let's say a president does face a conviction and is out of a job. He could still yet face another kind of conviction entirely, criminal. POTUS is on the hook for criminal actions before, during, or after time in the Oval Office.
So there you go. I'll let your boy Reparations Up come on over to our music page later.
All right. I want to thank everybody who came in again to the space tonight. We had a great space. We see that Joe Biden, once again, is giving him and the United States government are giving billions of dollars away to Ukraine, $1.7 billion. This would make $4 billion for the U.S. given to Ukraine since the start of the Ukraine-Russian war. And we're still waiting on some reparations and financial assistance ourselves. So we see money going out of this country, but not going into the pockets of Black Americans. This is once again something that we need to make the Democrats pay come midterms and come the 2024 election. We can't just sit here and just let everything go by and act like everything is fine, or we will still be waiting, watching the parade go by. I want to thank everybody who spoke tonight, everybody who contributed on Cash App, $Newstoter, everybody who came in and just listened, everybody who just came in and maybe shared the actual link to the space. Thank you guys. We will be back tomorrow. I appreciate everybody supporting the platform, the number 1 curation, the largest Black aggregated news aggregator today in America. So we will see you guys tomorrow, and make sure you check out my man DJ Space. I know they normally kick it off around about 12. He may kick it off a little bit early or whatever, but definitely check that space out. I'm going to come in there for a little bit. So peace to everybody. Peace to my 2 co-hosts and all of the familiar faces that I see in the space tonight. I appreciate you guys coming through. And we had another great space and can't wait to see you tomorrow. So have a good one, everyone.